You've got the look in your eyes. You're on a mission, burning ambition. You've got your eyes on the prize. You've gotta rise to the challenge. Show 'em what you got. Set them to take what's yours. You are kings now, curse of titans.
67, I think.
Hey everyone, Anthony Tornado Tag Podcast. We are here. We got 3 in studio, 2 on the phone. Myself, Brian, and Andy in studio. On the phone will be Tyler and Matt. So we got the full blue and gold. We got a lot to cover. Before we get into anything, we have an interview out right now with our boy Andy Hedder here. And we talk about the history of wrestling. So that's our interview out. It came out Wednesday, but you have till it's going to be there forever.
Well, yeah, whatever you want, let's do it.
But check it out now.
Limited time.
Yeah, we will take it down.
Patreon only.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of podcasts will do that. They'll have stuff out for so long and then they'll paywall it.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna start doing. If you guys don't get your shit together, no, I'm joking.
If you don't fork over the money, you're gonna have to pay to listen to us review a Raw from 4 months.
Yeah. You're gonna like that.
You want to hear our new takes on things? You gotta pay us.
No, just our old ones. The new ones are free.
No.
It's a very backward business model.
Yeah.
So then, see, I even got it wrong. Next week's interview is going to be Trajan Horn.
Okay, there we go.
That was a fun one. It's very topographical about what's going on in the world. Not much wrestling talk.
Topical.
Topical.
Not topographical.
Topographical.
Unless you talk about maps. You're talking about maps?
We were looking down. We were in an airplane.
Maybe. He's like, you know what? I'm just a very big map guy.
It's very mountainous around here.
But yeah, so it's very current events talk. There is some wrestling in there, but Trajan's very passionate about it, as well as a lot of people are. So we talk about that kind of stuff. So sorry, my allergies are horrible. Let me drink a beer about it.
It's going around,
Or we just all have the COVID.
Yeah, we're all gonna get it. We're all dead.
Yeah. I guess we could just drive right into that.
Yeah, there you
COVID
go.
Testing. So WWE had a scare.
Yeah, there was apparently one of the developmental people who has been in the crowd during these tapings. And they said the last time they were there was Tuesday, June 9th, I believe. They said they tested positive for COVID-19, and then a lot of different stories came out. There were stories that on Raw this week, which was very close to live, that they had let some fans in. That was broken by Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez. WWE denied it. But they did say that some people had friends and family in, which if you listen to what Dave said, that's what he said. He said, yeah, they were fans and were like friends and family of some of the wrestlers.
To be fair,
what's the difference?
AEW's been doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you look in the crowd, when like the Street Profits go through the crowd, there's like older people, there's like these people are not dedevelopmental wrestlers.
Yeah, if they are, they're signing everybody.
Yeah.
And WWE's statement was like that they were practicing social distancing. Everybody was 6 feet apart. Meanwhile, on Raw, the Street Profits are going through the crowd, high-fiving people. Like Bugenhagen's right there playing the air guitar. So
he does that. If you notice him, and SmackDown is watching, he's in the background. He's just drumming the whole time. It was during that Kofi match. I was like, he's just. I'm like, yeah.
That guy needs to get a push.
Yeah, he had one match on TV,
and it was good.
They're like, nope, you got over.
And it was good.
Without us saying, so we're not gonna use you.
Yeah,
and then there was talk that the people they allowed in WWE did not allow them to wear masks. You never see anybody on WWE TV wearing a mask.
Yeah,
like you'll see
crowd.
some people in AEW. Not so much the crowd.
If you choose to, you're allowed to.
Yeah, I think but maybe it might be a Vince thing.
Yeah,
where he says don't.
Well,
at least in the crowd.
This is very much a rumor. Apparently, somebody said that Kevin Dunn told somebody, if you want to wear a mask, you're not a real fan.
Oh.
And that's just a rumor.
They're selling masks on WWE.line, so if you want to go buy...
Yeah, you can wear a WWE mask, yeah.
I mean, if you're going to give me a cool Fiend or Kane one, I'll wear it.
But meanwhile, if you look at the New Japan shows, the announcers are 6 feet apart. Everybody that's not a wrestler is wearing a mask, so
yeah.
there
was nobody in the crowd. Really.
Now, there's one thing I do want to address that happened on the page, and I may this may be falling on deaf ears, because if you had a majority of the people who are on our Facebook page to the people who actually listen to the show, it's probably slim to none. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people who are on the Facebook page don't even tune into the show.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna be honest.
For news,
yeah, and that's fine. I'm cool with that. But I do think when it comes to what we report on and what we talk about and we give our take on things, I think we are very fair in saying what we like and don't like about each each company. This is definitely not a show where we say we love AEW and we hate WWE. Now, do we agree with the way WWE is as a company? No. I think it's very safe to say that we are very active when we say we don't like
a lot of
the
what
way
they're doing,
they have been treating their employees for a long period of time.
and they're independent contractors.
Yes. So, but we support the staff and the guys and girls who wrestle. You know what I mean? Like we respect their roster, but as a company, like we made it very clear that there's some things they do that we're not fans of, and that's all stuff that we just heard through reporting. Is it true? Who knows? But if enough people are reporting on it,
It's usually true.
you know what I mean? So even if you are a wrestling fan and you are a strictly WWE only fan, if you just look into what they do to their employees, they're not a good company. Like they don't treat their people with respect. They don't, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's
Independent contractor, but you can't work anywhere else.
Right.
yeah.
What?
And you have to work the way we tell you to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's I don't know. I definitely want to address that. Like we are very equal when it comes to. Listen, wait till we get to the AEW thing. We talk about NXT this week. There's some people who are going to hate it, and there's some people who are going to love it. You know
And
what I mean?
one other thing, just on this COVID thing, apparently because they taped Raw yesterday before they did NXT or after NXT for next week's, they taped next week's Raw, and apparently Kevin Owens, after he heard about the positive test, was
There you
like,
go.
"Peace out. I'm going to take the week off."
Oh, he just dipped.
Yeah.
Which will probably hurt them in the long run.
Yeah.
Because that's how they are.
Yeah.
And they didn't tape SmackDown. They had everybody. They were supposed to tape Raw and SmackDown for next week on Tuesday, but after that positive test happened, they shut down their tapings for the day, and they tested everybody. Because apparently this was, according to, again, we don't know for certain, but according to reports, Meltzer and Alvarez, primarily Meltzer, he said that they hadn't tested. Like, AEW is testing people frequently.
When they come in the door.
Yeah.
when they start the
They
thing.
test you and they put a green wristband on you.
You get
So-
two. You get one for the COVID test and then one for your temperature.
Yeah.
That's what the Bucks showed on being elite. And then everywhere, like Jim Ross said in his podcast, Tony Schiavone, so like that guy was saying, they weren't testing. Okay, they're all lying then.
Yeah.
And apparently,
Look in the crowd. Everyone has
Yeah.
two wristbands on.
and apparently I was reading this on the sports website, when the NBA comes back, the players are going to wear these rings. They look like almost like Green Lantern rings or something. They're very like futuristic looking.
Yeah.
But they monitor heart rate, temperature, all these things. And
It's a
apparently,
mood ring.
Pretty much, yeah. And it tells you if your mood is healthy or coronavirus.
Oh, wow.
Well, no, that's what they're doing. You have to have the willpower of the Green Lantern.
Yeah,
Like
to will
NBA,
through it.
Dude,
that's
how-
what it is.
How fucking awesome
The
would
problem
it
is
be?
if coronavirus is yellow, and then it's really
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Fear.
How awesome would it
Fear.
be is if we get back to like wrestling or sports and everyone has like they're hooked up to like some type of ring or device and we can see your stamina meter. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
your
But
health.
apparently,
Like a video game.
Yeah, like the running back, he's about 50% right now. His heart rate's up. He's got to be the will to win, and this guy is crazy.
that'd be, like you see they're on a limit break or something, would be great. The
I cannot wait.
But that's
But
like, that
apparently-
reminds me of the light trails in the hockey puck. Remember that years ago?
apparently this ring
The guys
can
in the huddle, they see his heart rate monitor.
apparently this ring can detect COVID up to 3 days before a test.
Wow.
They
Oh,
say.
I want one.
Yeah,
I recently had one, and they have to stick the thing way far up your nose.
really?
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
Is it uncomfortable?
Yeah, and they have to turn it around, and then it's like, it feels like it looks like I don't know if you've never seen it, but a mascara thing, but it's like smaller.
And how long does it take to test?
Not a couple
So
seconds.
you're good.
Yeah, they told me the next day I didn't have it. Shocker. And I was like, oh, I think
So
I
you had to
already
do
have
it before the show you did?
No, before the to get my little cyst out of my head.
Oh, okay.
Did they do like an antibody test to see if you had it in the
No,
past,
I
or-
asked them that. I said, will this check before if I ever had it? She goes, no, just if you currently
Yeah,
have it.
apparently those tests are maybe they're better now, but for a while they were super.
So we're
inaccurate.
good. We know someone who got tested.
Yeah. So I didn't have it. I added to the negative thing.
There
Who was
you
that comedian that said, I don't know
Chris
if I,
Rock.
Yeah, I don't know if I have HIV. I ask a guy if he has it or something like that.
Well, I know one of the things that Chris Rock said. I took my AIDS test. I passed it. Got a 64 or 74. Something like that.
Like the sheet, it came back positive. Yes.
What else we got here? Some of this stuff is going to fall into when we get to Raw and SmackDown and stuff.
We didn't put it on the notes, but Edge is going to be out for a while. I guess we want to cover that during
What
Backlash.
tricep injury?
Yeah.
Tore his tricep.
Yeah,
Injury.
tore tricep, and he tore it on a re-edit. It wasn't even in the
Ugh.
match. They went back out to shoot a fucking like I forget what part of the match, like a DDT on the ropes or something, and like he tore his tricep.
Yeah, or like he
I
leaped
think it was
into
the
something.
the RKO. I think the way he landed on the RKO from like he went to go he ducked something and then he did like a springboard off the second rope and went off the RKO.
Shit, right.
There was a weird
the way
rope
he
spot.
landed.
Yeah, there was a weird rope spot where he held his. Yeah,
it sucks for Edge. That's a
Do
hard
you,
injury.
do you want to jump right into Backlash since we're there?
yeah. I mean, there is some stuff going on right now. We're not going to commentate on it or say what's going on, but there is. I'm just going to call it the creep list.
Yeah,
Allegations.
The
There you go.
I'm gonna say it's the creep list. There's some things going around where female talent is starting to put guys on blast,
and male talent too. There was a
And male.
and
yeah.
some non-wrestlers.
yeah,
Yeah.
non-wrestlers.
just saying that these
Yeah.
guys have done this stuff, and we're going to speak up about it. Now, there is two sides to every coin.
Yeah.
Sometimes people make accusations, and sometimes the accusations are true.
Yeah, like remember with Enzo?
Yeah. So we're not going to commentate. We're not going to say who's guilty because that's not our guilty or not guilty. That's not our place. We'll wait till it's proven and then we'll report on it. I think that's the best way we handle this.
Yeah, and I'll just throw one of the names out there, and we're not saying this is an admission of like we're accusing him of anything. David Starr is the big name.
He was the first big name, yeah.
And I just bring him up because that's the one where there's been some action. A lot of the companies he worked for, OTT, which is a big indie in Ireland, Rev Pro, TNT Extreme, they've all severed ties. They've all stripped him of titles. And there's been some accusations, particularly about UK workers, and there's been some stuff about other people too. But I mean, you can look around. We don't want to try to. We're not really here to mudsling. So
Yeah, I just saw that hit the company We the Independent that he co-founded. They parted ways with him as well.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like all this happens in Japan. Takuma Jinoku cheated on his wife and was suspended for 1 year.
For cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
Wow.
Japan takes things like this very seriously.
Yeah.
Japan is very different with that and drugs.
Yeah. Oh, you're fine.
Yeah,
You get
Matt Seidel got caught
Yeah.
with like weed on the airplane, and
Done.
like, he got banned from Dragon Gate and
Yeah.
New Japan.
for life.
Yeah, he was basically locked up in Japan without a trial for like 2
Here's
months
the
after
thing.
that.
Which is a little crazy, but that's how they do things. Over
Here's
there.
the thing when it comes to us as a staff, when it comes to you as a listener, and just people in general. If you're going to go into a situation, think to yourself, will this get me in trouble?
Yeah.
And if the answer is yes, don't do it.
Yeah. And if you're ashamed to do it, then don't do it.
Yeah.
WWAHD. What would Andy Header do?
Yeah.
What would that's what I said.
Just sit there and play video games.
You can
There you go.
You can make a
No
list.
one's gonna do nothing.
You can make a list. You can check it twice, and blue and gold will never be on that
There
list.
you go. WWB and GD.
And if
Yeah.
you want to get freaky, just go watch some weird porn. No one's gonna say no. You're watching weird porn as long
Yeah.
as it ain't kids.
Yeah.
In your house.
Yep.
And then jerk off,
Yeah,
and
as
then
long as it's not
and
kids.
then you're done. That's
Yeah.
over.
Yes.
And you didn't involve anybody. You can watch someone.
We're
beat someone.
busy enough reading comics and doing our squat thrust and doing our push-ups. and,
That should be a shirt.
you know.
What would blue and gold
No.
do?
The raciest thing they'll
Yeah,
do is DDP yoga.
Yeah.
That's about it. You know, we're just busy people. You know,
Yeah.
The bottom line, everything going. I saw the list too. I know we talked about before we went on the air. I'm like, that's a lot of names. Obviously, we don't know which ones are true, which ones aren't. They're just speculation. But bottom line, just be better in every aspect. Just be better.
Yeah.
Be better human beings every single day. Be a little bit better today than you were yesterday. Be a little bit better tomorrow than you were the day before. If you can do that at the end of the year, 365, you were 365 days better than you were January 1, 2021 than you were, I'll yada, yada, yada. You guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah, we got you.
No, Matt's totally right. Not only that, but just as a whole, like as men, we need to start treating women better. And even I fall into that category. Every man I know falls into that category. At some point, you could treat a woman better than you are. It's just like you can't.
My anniversary was on Tuesday. My wife, as soon as she woke up, she had a giant thing of flowers, gifts right in front of her, and
Wow.
all I got was
You're
a bunch
killing
of
it.
pieces. So that was it. So.
Andy buys his cat the good cat food.
Yeah.
I make a lot of jokes. If you play with me on Xbox, I make a lot of jokes. Me and my buddy have been playing a lot of Call of Duty recently, and I said, "Man," because we've been playing. We met a friend online.
I saw this story.
She's a buddy of us online, and she's not very good at the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "It's not your fault. Most girls are not good at video games."
Oh boy.
Right?
And then
Canceled.
and then some girl came in. What the fuck you say?
And then we played against, you know how like there's clans on Call of Duty, so we played
Yeah,
against
like
a
guilds
full
and
so we played against a
MMOs.
full team of people. Like
Okay.
so if you're all rocking the same clan, it means you play together a lot.
Yeah.
When you enter a lobby and you see everyone with the same tag, and they were called babes, and it was a whole team of girls.
No, good for them.
We beat them by 35 points.
Well, maybe they weren't very good.
it's not my fault the scoreboard shows me. No, I mean,
maybe it was a bunch of dudes that were just doing it.
no, they were all girls, but we do make jokes. Not all girls are terrible at video games, just most of them, and that's not our fault. You've been picking on us for so long. Well, not jump in with us, get better. That's my only joke I have today.
Just keep digging that hole, Tony.
Yeah, just keep going deeper and deeper.
You just totally missed that whole thing Matt was saying.
Tony just got us canceled. Great, thanks, Tony.
Listen,
Matt Turner, be better. Tony, girls are bad at video games.
Then the girl said Sonic's her favorite
me and Matt
Nintendo
taking this
character.
nice shit, and Tony's rebuttal is girls are bad at games.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Thanks.
how awesome is Paige at video games?
I have no idea.
Exactly.
I don't know. Does she play?
But she rocks really tiny and tight tank tops.
Well, I mean, but did I bet there's some girl that's awesome at video games? I mean, you can't just pick out one person.
Gaming.
We'll find it. We'll find a good streamer.
Do you think Chris Jericho plays video games? Probably not.
No, because he's too busy getting drunk.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just saying, you can't just pick some random girl and say she's not good at video games. Well, plenty of people aren't. They don't play.
It is what it is. They're just not very good. The people I play with it's just a joke. Not everyone's bad at video games.
We need to do that bully beatdown thing.
Yeah.
Where we're gonna
you know who's pretty good at role playing games? Shayna Baszler. You go tell her she's not good at video games.
I would never do anything against
And then
Shayna
tell
Baszler.
Rhonda she's not good at Pokemon. I don't know if she is or not.
Yeah. I would never question anything Shayna does. Speaking of that, we'll just get right. We'll talk about that story.
Yeah.
So Shayna's push is pretty much done.
Yeah, have you seen her lately?
She hasn't been on in since 2 months?
Yeah, I think it was
Money in the Bank.
Since Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
well,
Bank
after
was
Money in the
last
Bank,
time.
where she had that great promo that
Yeah.
Andy wrote about Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after that, gone.
Now here's the thing: we bought a Vince puppet
Yeah.
because of this skit we did on the show, where we said, "Well, I mean, this is months and months and months. This is when she was
the same
still,
one from Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah, this is so we made this joke about a skit, we'll say, about Shayna Baszler, and not that we're all agreed to it or say we were pretty much calling out society. Like we knew that
how
this
Vince is.
Yeah, we're calling out Vince before it even happened, and we said, man, she's killing at NXT, but the second she goes to WB, Vince is going to take one look at her and say she's not pretty.
God, yeah.
She doesn't fit the mold of a hot girl.
As the Briscoes legendarily said, she's not cosmetically pleasing enough.
Yeah, and she's never gonna. She probably won't get that push. And now that Paul Heyman has no control, she's fucked.
Yeah, she's done.
She's fucked.
Apparently, right now, judging just by NXT, and then we're going to get to it later, if your name is Paul, you don't have any say right now.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
creative in WWE.
She'll be good at AEW when she goes there.
Yeah, which is a fucking shame because she's
And so will Ricochet.
she's probably the top.
I would book her. I'd have her be world champion.
She's
Be
top
of the
5
card.
champion.
Yeah.
She's top 5 wrestler of all time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right now.
She was playing that game that I'm playing right now, so I respect her. I don't
Is she?
have her. So she was. Yeah,
Nice.
she was posting about it. So, yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah.
If Vince just doesn't like you, you're done. Like Brody Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Not that what he's doing right now is great, but I'm just saying, if you don't even get a chance, like EC3, you think Vince will look to him and be like, my God, we gotta make him champion. God damn it. But he didn't like him for some reason.
I think because he didn't create him.
Probably he has that thing, but why not? If you can make money with somebody,
Yeah.
EC3 could have been something in WWE. Yeah, he's not that great in the ring, but I mean, for sports entertainment,
Well, he was
Jack
teased.
guy.
He was teased at Impact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Where his music got hit.
Yeah. And they also made mention of a former world champion coming in, a former Impact champion.
Yeah.
Which is him.
I would assume he's going back.
I would think he's going back, and another former champion, Eric Young. Eric Young was Impact champion. I think he'll be going back there, too.
Cool.
Yeah. He did tease ROH, which maybe because PCO was ROH world champion, but I don't know.
Oh, EC3?
Yeah.
EC3.
Yeah, he took a picture in front of the ROH logo.
I mean, maybe he's doing a little one-off.
Maybe he got that great deal where he can do both.
Yeah, good for him.
Dude, if every other company just realizes
Work together.
if we just work together,
we can win.
we'll fucking we'll win. We'll win this. Yeah, like
If only that worked for Pro Wrestling USA back in the 80s.
yeah. There's a shift here, you know. What else we got here? Yeah, let me cross it off my list. New Japan, the
New Japan Cup.
the New Japan Cup has been going on.
Yay! The best wrestling in the world is back.
I
Started
haven't-
Monday.
I have not seen any of it yet.
Well, there's 3 shows. The first show was just tag matches. They announced the show as it started. Like they said no one knows the matches. We're
Is
going to
it-
announce them. Yeah.
is that
and
the
then
match
the New
that-
Japan Cup
Yeah.
starts the next day.
So
The tournament.
that show that no one knew the card was all tag matches.
Yeah,
Yeah,
There,
it was-
there might have been one single with the Young Boys.
Yeah, I think the opener was a single, and then
Yeah.
it was like a single, a tag, an 8-man tag, and then the main event was a 6-man tag.
yeah,
Cool. Overall, good show. Were you happy that they're back? Was it different?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's empty arena, but it's a small little studio. kind of like NWA. But
Yeah.
it looks really nice, and it's like dark, so you can't really see.
I kind of
Yeah.
hope that AEW does a show where they are now. I know they never will because they can never have
I think
enough
they
people.
will because they did.
That looks so cool with that.
They've used that building before.
Fighter Fest was there. I
Fighter
think.
Fest, the first Dynamite, the January 1st
Yeah.
Dynamite was there.
It does look really cool. With
It
people
does.
in it, they put the entranceway
Not
like
Fighter
sideways
Fest.
or
Not Fighter Fest.
diagonal.
Fight for the Fallen.
Yeah,
was there.
Fighter. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they shoot it like where there's only a little bit of crowd. That's where they put the hard cam, so you see the crowd like this. It was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, they never shot at this angle, which I think they probably will. If they do it
Every,
again.
Yeah.
Even WWE changed their hard cam to entrance
Because it
ramp.
looks so good in AW.
Yeah.
It
I think
it's a better idea.
It's a cool. It
Yeah.
looks better. Yeah.
And the same thing with New Japan when you come out the big.
Wait do you
Titantron.
play your first video game and the hard cam is facing the entranceway?
Yeah. Hey, speaking of video games, Retromania added High School Gym Arena.
I know. I seen that. And they made a trailer. They made a trailer
Yeah,
to
watch
the
it. It's
game.
pretty good.
Well, it's funny you bring up like the video games. It always makes me think of whenever they would do a pay per view back in the day at Madison Square Garden, like those.
Yeah, you come right out the
the
thing.
Survivor Series where they had the car.
Yeah.
And Jeff Hardy jumped off of it.
You,
It's almost like
you
that.
get to the ring in like what 20 seconds?
Pretty much.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm
Yeah,
here.
the only one they didn't do that with was WrestleMania 20, but the ones before that.
Yeah, it's just that real short entranceway. Anyway, New Japan Cup, Minoru Suzuki versus Yuji Nagata was yesterday. And that's probably the best
Yeah.
match so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ishii and Desperado was up there as well.
Yeah,
They
I
had,
gotta
like,
watch
the
that
old-
one.
That was it was very Ishii, meaning like there's tons of near falls at the end. Like if you like the King's Road All Japan stuff, like with the falsies, like I bid a couple times on a bunch of the falsies. It was excellent. And let's see, what Gabriel Kidd and Ishimori was really good. And there's another match that was Hamna and Hiromu was excellent as well.
You have to watch that. And then if you
And
wait
both,
2 days, you
both
get
the
the English
shows are only like
commentary.
2 hours. Both shows are only 2 hours long.
Yeah.
They do 2 cup matches, an 8-man, and 2 cup matches, so it's really easy to get through.
Yeah.
So I just wanted we just quick talked about video games. I just want to quick give a shout out here. This is going to be a big year for 2 style of video games. Wrestling video games are coming back heavy. It's not just going to be WWE video games.
Well, it might not be.
Yeah.
The main line WWE game.
And then skateboarding video games are coming back, but that's for another show, another day,
How about
another time.
skateboarding and wrestling?
Goddamn skateboard fucks.
So, yeah,
Dynamic dudes, the game.
So we have ones that you may have heard of real quick, and maybe some you haven't. So the first one is going to be they're calling actually this one doesn't count because this is a mobile game, but WWE Battlegrounds.
That's the cartoony one.
Yeah, looks a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So that
I
one,
liked All Stars. It was very fun.
Wrestling Revolution 3D. Are these all mobile? 'Cause
Wrestling Revolution 3D is the M. Dickey game.
Hold on, I'm sorry, I have the wrong.
Oh, delete that mobile list.
Yeah, hold on.
It's okay to hate. There's one people it's okay to hate. Mobile gamers.
We're allowed to make fun of them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hold on. I have.
Wrestling Revolution 3D. That there's this guy M. Dickey who's been making indie wrestling games forever. He has the one where you can like this one now you can't do it because they couldn't get it on Steam. But his older games you could like blow somebody's arm off. You can blow their leg off.
God. What CZW wish they could have did.
Yeah, but the WWE Battlegrounds is the first one.
Retromania Wrestling.
Retromania Wrestling, which came out with the trailer.
Which comes out this year sometime. I'm not sure exactly when.
Yeah, the trailer. They just put a new trailer
Yeah.
out.
Hold on, I had to go through
While he's going through the list,
paywall.
While he's going through the list, I'm going to bring
Yeah.
up one that's just PC and it's text based and it is very sim heavy. Total Extreme Wrestling 2020. If you remember EWR back in the day, the booking simulator,
And
this
like everybody was in that.
yeah, this is a newer version. You have to download like people make databases of real world stuff
Okay,
because it
yeah.
comes preloaded with a fictional universe, but you can basically take over the book for any company and it's basically you play as Vince McMahon or as the booker.
Yeah. WWE's working on 2K for next year, so that's in production.
Yeah.
AEW's video game should be
Yeah,
announced soon.
Aubrey Edwards was on Jericho's podcast. She's working on it, but she couldn't say anything really. She's like, I can't really say anything about it yet. Her
Nice.
and Kenny are working on it because she worked in video games for 10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
I
And
love
she-
her more and
She
more.
did
the more I hear about her, I fucking fall in love with
stuff
her.
for Nintendo and I believe Sony. I'm not sure about Xbox and a bunch of mobile games.
She's one of my favorite refs right now too. I
Yeah,
think the way
she's good.
she acts in the ring and the way she sells it, I think she's fucking fantastic.
They should have Cabana do the mocap for that game.
Yeah, because for their ones.
Yeah. Virtual Basement. So this
Yeah,
is
I don't know what's with that.
this
I
is
tried to
one
get some information.
where
couldn't find
tons of
anything.
indie guys are getting on it.
Yeah.
2 people that I don't know personally, but we know from just Lady Frost is going to be in it, and her husband. I don't remember his wrestling
And his
name.
non-Chikara personality.
Yeah, New Japan Pro Wrestling supposedly has a new game coming out. Or they're working on it. That should be releasing soon.
I don't know. The last one was Fire Pro Wrestling.
Yeah. Hold on.
And they're always updating that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a hardcore game that's being made too, like a hardcore deathmatch style game.
Oh my.
I'm waiting for the title to pop up here.
What was the one with ICP? The
Backyard Wrestling.
Yeah.
It's called Ultra Violence. Yeah, but it looks
CZW.
Yeah.
CZW.
It's yeah, but there, like I said, there's like 5 or 10 of them coming out that are.
Wow, I didn't know about any of them.
Yeah, Virtual Basement's getting a lot of steam because it has a lot of it's getting independent guys in it.
Yeah, but I didn't see any like gameplay or not gameplay pictures or anything, unless it's very early on.
Wow. So another thing that's going on too, real quick, just news, and we'll jump into it. Is there's a friend of the podcast, really, really good dude. His name is Max Bolton, and he actually is the theme music.
That's a working name, not to interrupt.
Yes.
You.
So his band No Rain Checks is the theme music to Tornado Tag Podcast. Very, very good kid. The only he goes to school. He pretty much the only thing this kid does is he goes to school, gets an education, and he focuses on music. He's just in love with music. And anytime he has any money, anything he can do to put towards himself, it either goes towards his band or his music career. He always buys new instruments to learn how to get better. He goes to shows to meet people to learn. He's just a sponge when it comes to music. Yes.
Guitar player.
Well, he plays everything.
And that's what I thought. That's in the band. He plays guitar.
He plays guitar in the band, but he literally I think he taught himself like 15 different instruments.
Wow.
Yeah. He goes to school, I think, in Temple.
Yes.
Yes. His apartment was broken into, and someone not only destroyed his apartment but stole a bunch of his music equipment.
Sucks.
I did make a GoFundMe for him as we speak. If you go over to GoFundMe and just type in Max's stolen music equipment, anything helps. If you guys can do $5, $10, whatever you can do, it really will go a long way to help him out. I know there's a few other things going out right now that are looking to help him out as well. Like I think there's a benefit show going to start going on. But
And it's so hard doing that now because everybody's...
Yeah, but he's just a really good dude who does a lot for the music scene. He's just a really nice person. I made it today, and I only put like $1,000 goal, which really only covers probably one guitar.
Yeah.
If we beat the goal, awesome. But it's up to $290 already,
Wow,
which is
that's cool,
someone
yeah.
just did $100 donation,
Wow.
which is fucking awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, so it's up to it's almost up to $300. If anyone can do anything, just go check it out. It's under Max's Stolen Music Equipment, and very, very nice kid. Like I said, and he's the intro to our music.
I think they posted, and so 3 guitars they got. That sucks.
3 guitars and like electronic. He has like a keyboard guitar.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, guitar. Wow.
Yeah, and here's the thing too: if anyone goes out and buys any merchandise money we make from now for the rest of this month, we'll put towards Max's fund as well. So either way, and then you can also go on his Bandcamp page and type in No Rain Checks, and you can physically buy their album, and you can set your own price. Mm-hmm. Anything you can do to help that guy out would be truly appreciated from me at the podcast, and just go definitely.
Even if you're broke, if you're a Spotify subscriber, give them a few Spotify listens.
Yeah, give them a listen.
They only get a little bit of that. But
No Rain Checks is the name of the band.
And or you can go on the Facebook page right now and share the GoFundMe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just anything you can do to help out would be truly appreciated. All right, let's get into Backlash.
Backlash on the WWE.
Let's go to the end.
Yes.
I'll just kind of zip through the beginning here. On the pre-show, we had Apollo Crews defeating Andrade.
Good match.
Kevin Owens stopped the interference in that one as I bumped my computer around. And then on the main show, Bayley and Sasha retained the women's tag title over Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss and the Iconics.
Good match as well. It was fun.
It was fun. Sheamus beat Jeff Hardy.
In a piss match.
A piss match. First one to pour piss on the other one.
Piss on a pole.
Oh yeah, you climb up to get the piss and you use it. Like, no, I don't want to climb.
We had a weird ending on this one. Asuka and Nia Jax went to a double countout.
Keep Nia Jax strong, I guess.
Yeah, it seems
My favorite finish.
Yeah, double count. Oh, great, a double count out.
And then we had the 2-on-1 handicap match for the Universal title where Braun Strowman defeats The Miz and John Morrison. And then Drew McIntyre defeated Bobby Lashley to retain the WWE title. The storyline here is Lana came out even though they asked her not to. It distracted Bobby Lashley, and that was what caused him to lose.
Didn't see that coming at all.
No.
Who could have thought? Then we had the Street Profits against the Viking Raiders, and boy, was this something.
Brian sat in the chair in my living room
It was fucking garbage.
and just turned beet red.
I seethed.
I felt the heat coming from the one side of the living room, and he was
Now-
sitting by the air conditioner.
Now, imagine that, multiply it by 10, and that was the Firefly
Oh,
Funhouse.
boy.
Really?
Wow. And this has
I
been,
turned off the show. I didn't watch Jerome Brock. I
Really?
turned off the show.
This
Yeah.
has been called the worst of the cinematic stuff so far. The
Yeah.
Firefly Funhouse is still it
Yeah.
for me. At
I-
least they tried to have a fight in this match for the most part. There
Yeah.
were parts where they didn't, but
It was definitely taken to be a full comedy sketch, and I mean,
But here's the thing. Bad comedy is bad comedy.
yeah.
I agree.
Even if they say, "Oh, it's for kids," like Post Wrestling said this. Kids know when
Yeah.
something sucks too.
Yeah,
You know.
And that's where a lot of these things happen for me. It doesn't only offend me as a wrestling fan; it offends me as a comedy fan.
So Heidi,
So-
this is not my words. This is Heidi's. I wish she was down here to talk, so it doesn't sound like it's coming from a white guy. Heidi, who is Asian, as we know, my wife is Asian. I'm like Carl Anderson. I have a hot Asian wife. She said,
Breaking news.
Yeah, she said, I'm glad to see on TV they're showing black and white come together to beat up Asians. I was like, I didn't think of it that
To
way.
be fair, I think only one of those guys was actually
Yeah.
Asian.
Yeah, Kira that was the only Asian in the whole sketch.
And you have to make them a ninja because they're all ninjas,
If you
right?
have a ninja and they're wearing a mask, that person is not Asian. Jamie San was not
Yeah.
Asian.
Actually, Fasad was one of the ninjas on Raw.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
he posted about it.
Did he?
Yeah,
Nice.
I don't know if he wasn't in the Backlash, but he wasn't Raw.
Yeah, so Heidi was just like, I'm glad there's unity as long as it's against the Asian community.
This was basically WWE's
We're
version
clearly-
of Do the Right Thing.
Real quick, we're joking, by the way.
I'm
she
assuming
wasn't really offended.
Akira is now a ninja now.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, that's his new thing.
Well, hey, it's something.
Yeah. Hey, you're going to be a ninja, and you're going to get beat up by the Street Profits and Viking Raiders
Is
together.
it because I'm Japanese? No.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Why would you think that?
Yeah.
What made you draw that one
Yeah.
together?
Look,
and then
after this, we're gonna put you in a tag team with Nakamura.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
yeah, we're actually
And then you'll feud.
a stable. Yeah. And then the very end, there's a dumpster monster, like a Star Wars reference.
So let's kind of just go through all of it here a little bit. They fought in the back. They wrecked Braun Strowman's car. Then they started fighting with the implements they used in their little athletic competitions. They fought with golf clubs and axes and shields and bowling balls. Ivar hit Montez right in his fords with a bowling ball. Poor Bianca Belair.
Like the Al Snow spot in ECW.
Exactly.
To be fair, Ben Craig loved it.
Really?
Oh,
God.
he had a blast. Oh, you weren't here.
How many beers deep was he?
And not that many.
Oh,
but then again, this is what Ben's into.
Yeah.
Yeah. he ate it up.
It's actually it's funny what you're talking about, Tony, when you're saying about the blacks and the whites versus the Asians, because Dan Mintz, he's a comedian. He plays Tina on Bob's Burgers. He does her voice.
All right.
He has a
That's
That's
Linda.
he has a joke where he's like, I hope aliens invade the Earth. That way, the blacks, the whites, and the Asians. And the aliens can all come together and fight the Muslims. It's like, Jesus Christ. I was like, Jesus
Oh, boy.
Christ.
Yeah, there's never really true unity.
And so then they're fighting the ninjas. They go through the door of the performance center. They're fighting off Tozawa and his ninjas. Then this very large black ninja, African American ninja, comes through. It's I forget his last name. His first name is Jordan. He's I believe a legit 7'3", a former basketball player.
I thought it was gonna be Shaq at first.
Yeah. And they all run away from. Well,
What are y'all doing in here? I just want to know if you're having a wrestling match here.
That's a good Shaq. I like it.
And then Eric wants to fight the large ninja, but everybody else is like, no, and they go up on a truck.
And no longer chased.
Yeah, they're like, well, we can't climb a truck. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
The truck.
God, I'm a worst ninja
Like
ever.
literally, the one ninja also does grab the top of it. He's that tall.
Yeah.
But so they do moves off a truck into the dumpster, and then they're all laying in the dumpster. The ref, Jess, the ref from NXT, comes
Jess
out.
Carr.
Is like, your match is starting, and they're all just laying in the dumpster, all beat up, and then you just see a tentacle kind of come in the shot, like a monster's in the garbage can or the dumpster.
So they're all dead.
Yeah.
Add them to the list with Aleister Black and Rey Mysterio and
Yep.
AJ Styles.
yeah,
and,
they're all
and Undisputed Era, because
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, Roddy. Well, just Roddy and
just
Bobby
Roddy
Fish.
and Bobby
Yeah.
Fish.
They
Yeah.
died.
They were murdered by Dexter
Yeah.
Lumis.
yes,
So then after that, we did have
a lot of
the-
death this year. A lot of death.
Yeah, it's a shame.
More people come back than come back in comic books.
Yeah.
Then we had the greatest wrestling match of all time. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was good. I thought it was good.
It was a good match. I'll even say it was an excellent match.
Yeah.
I'll get my views out, and then you guys can go. So here's what I didn't enjoy about it.
Too long?
The time didn't bother me.
I thought it was a hair too long, but that's splitting hairs.
Yeah.
There's bigger problems here.
And
it has nothing to do with Randy Orton and Edge.
The lockup cam
Yeah.
was like, that didn't make any sense.
Some
Why-
of them camera angles like...
It's like they started and they're like, all right, you're going to do these edits and we want you to make this look super cinematic. And they're like, lockup cam. And then someone watched it and said, stop doing whatever you're doing and just go back to a regular style match. Because then they immediately scrapped that idea and went back to a regular style camera, which was good. Because I remember when we first seen that lockup cam, we're like, this better
like
not
holding
be...
it like...
Yeah. Like, this better not be the entire thing.
Oh.
So then that didn't bother me, aside of the way they booked it to being what it was. And I know why they did it. I know we talked about it on a previous show. Matt said it got people talking, which, good for them. Then to do every single person's finishers who weighed in on their match, they're two extremely talented performers. They don't need to sit there and do every other person's finishers to scratch the nostalgia itch for these fans.
Not just people that were like weighing in, like rock bottoms and things like that.
Rock bottoms, pedigrees, angle slams.
Yeah. The one thing I thought was really cool, I know other people, because a lot of us were here watching it. I did like that they used the Howard Finkel's voice.
That's cool.
At first I didn't, and then I realized what was happening, and then I enjoyed it.
And the old MXG mic comes down.
Yeah.
Charles Robinson is wearing
That's what they should do for every Royal Rumble and play a thing talking about the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And it was cool
Absolutely.
they actually had the audio of him introducing both superstars.
Yeah, because he did already.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, he's there forever.
So I at first I was like, this is, what the hell is happening? And then I realized, oh, this is a tribute for
Yeah.
Fink, so I ate it up. And then the referee wearing the old school mat.
Yeah.
The old school
the blue
gear.
dress shirt with the bow tie. Yeah.
I dig that stuff. But, like, they didn't need to go and do other people's finishers. They didn't need to have all those spots. Like, eliminate that and the whole idea of we need to go out there and do the greatest match of all time. This is an excellent match.
Yeah, my biggest gripe was the fake crowd noise.
That, too. Did you watch it yet?
No,
They-
only clips.
They piped in
I heard
crowd
it was
noise.
real, but like someone said
Obnoxious.
like the 25 people sounded like 40,000.
It sounded
Yeah.
like Madison Square Garden.
Oh God.
And then they were chanting like, this is awesome. Like, they're chanting stuff that if a crowd would be there chanting,
Yeah.
and it just came off fucking fake.
Yeah.
And then they would...
Dude, they had them start chanting "This is awesome" like 7 minutes into the match. I was like, what
I
the
hate
fuck?
when they do that, when they really do that.
The
commentary-
I turned on the "This is awesome" chant. TNA, when they had Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle, it was going to be a great match.
Yeah.
The first time they wrestled, they're chanting it before the match even started.
It's like, what if it sucks? What if one gets hurt?
Like, it's not going to, but what if Kurt Angle takes their step wrong and breaks his leg?
Yeah.
Yeah. The crowd noise wasn't matching what was happening in the crowd. There was points in times where guys were cheering, and it sounded like everyone was cheering, and people were just standing there.
Oh yeah, and then like,
And then Tyler
Rick
pointed out
Boogs
a
is
couple.
drubbing.
Yeah, a few times Tyler pointed out where they had a shot where they were showing the commentator's booth,
Yeah.
and the commentary team is talking, and they're not at the table.
oh, that's
Because
funny.
they splice the match together,
Yeah.
so they can't really...
Yeah.
So
oh,
it was just
boy.
like, come on, like, the crowd noise was so added. It was so blatantly added that it.
I heard they were trying too hard.
It, well, and they didn't need all that. Like,
And-
these two guys can go out there
They
and
could've
put
just had
on
a regular
fucking-
match. Yeah.
Because notice, all of these gripes we have, there's two guys that has absolutely nothing to do with, and that's Randy Orton and Edge.
Yeah, the match
They
was-
have nothing to do with
Their
it.
match was fantastic. Their match alone was fantastic, and it didn't need all this nonsense.
Yeah. That's Vince and all them.
Yeah.
We gotta do this. No, you don't.
Does anyone else have anything they want to add or disagree or agree with on that?
I'll go.
Go ahead.
I thought this was fantastic. The length of the match, I'm a huge Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat fan, and all those matches went long. If it's a good match, I don't care if it goes 60 minutes, 70 minutes, I don't care.
Yeah.
So the length of the match, and I think this was longer than the WrestleMania match, which I thought I didn't care for that match at all. This match I thought was fantastic.
The length didn't bother me either.
I'm going to disagree with you on using others' finishers. I thought it was a nice touch. It made you pay attention more because it was all finishers of guys that aren't wrestling anymore. The rock bottom, the angle slam, the pedigree. It's
Maybe
all
I'm
stuff
just mad they
hasn't
didn't do the
been-
figure four and the sweet chin. I think maybe that's.
I
Mainly
was
the
expecting
switch
I was expecting the stunner, but other than that, I thought that was
Well,
great.
I
As far as
think
the-
they used every single person who weighed in and gave their opinions finish
Oh,
it.
really? He did
Well,
it.
they didn't do Ric Flair or Shawn Michaels, though. Those are the two
Exactly.
main ones.
And I was the whole time I was like, here
I'm
goes
betting
the
they didn't use the stunner because Kevin Owens uses it. That's how I think
Yeah.
they think.
Yeah.
Edge did the.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Christian's move, didn't he? And then prettier.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
prettier, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
He-
the kill
he-
switch.
Which that makes sense.
He also weighed in.
Yeah.
He said,
But I mean,
yeah.
he tagged with him for years. Sound that.
Yeah.
With that.
Orton got busted open hard way. I thought that was, you can tell right where it was from where he took the headbutt and he took like a bump onto the apron.
yeah.
I thought, and this goes to show what I've been saying for years. When Randy Orton wants to work, he's one of the best guys on the WWE roster. And when he doesn't want to work, yeah, I mean, when he doesn't want to work, it's like he's completely different. It all depends on.
He reminds me of
what
BJ Penn. BJ Penn.
Oh yeah, when BJ Penn would train for fights, yeah, he was untouchable. But then when he got lazy or he got confident, like the second GSP fight, and GSP would just took him down and mauled him for 4 rounds and then threw the towel in.
Yeah.
As far as the crowd noise goes, I can take it or leave it. I know, and I think Andy can kind of back me up on this. If you're in a match like that long, doing all that stuff, all those bumps, you need some sort of adrenaline, and you feed off the crowd. And whether it's piped in or not, I mean, if anything, maybe that would just help in the wrestlers.
I don't even think they heard it.
I think it was sweetened in. Yeah, I think they added it in later.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, that
it didn't sound like it was coming through a PA.
Yeah, it sounded like it was coming. It was a mix between piped, like already put, like digitally added crowd noise, mixed with what was happening.
I'm sure, yeah,
in the crowd, because you can tell when it was the live crowd trying to do it and when it was this fake noise.
Oh, okay.
And the live crowd was mostly into it because it was a damn good match. Of course, they were into
100%. Yeah.
And kudos to Edge for having his first real wrestling match in 9.5 years and not getting blown up.
Man,
I mean, for how long that went. I know there was reshoots or whatever, but I don't care. Like, to me, this match was great, and kudos to WWE for putting on 2 legitimate match of the year candidates in one weekend. Because obviously the AJ Bryan match on Friday, as much as I like this one, I like the one on Friday better. And I'm sure we'll get to it, but for me, this was this was thumbs up. And I only saw when I got home from my second job on Sunday. I turned it on, and it was the Strowman match, and I'm like, oh well, it is what it is with that. And then I saw the Lashley match, and that was better than to be expected. And I was like, man, this is. I remember looking at my wife going into the main event. I'm like, they better knock the socks off of this one because I know I have DirecTV now. Granted, I have the WWE Network and I pay the $9.99, but like DirecTV's advertising it for like $50. And can you imagine paying $50 for this show? But we knew there was going to be an out for like the greatest wrestling match. And I know a lot of us thought, well, maybe Orton's going to hit an RKO like 1 minute in or whatever. And it turns out, I'm watching this match, I'm like, what's the out? Like, granted, it's not going to be Okada Omega or Okada Tanahashi or any of that stuff, but I'm like, what's the out for this greatest wrestling matches? Because this is really, really good match. And, of course, the out was the low blow, because they even said no hair pulling, there'll be no double countouts, and no low blows.
And he clearly pulled his hair. He pulled his hair in there.
Yeah. But that Randy Orton was the heel, so he's going to break the rules.
Yeah.
I don't know what they said on Monday. I didn't watch all of Raw, but they can clearly come back and like this could have been the greatest wrestling match ever. For Randy Orton, that dastardly, apex predator that he is, he used a low blow and then the punt to win. So he used something illegal. So this could have been the greatest wrestling match ever. But Randy Orton, at the very last second, he had to use a dastardly tactic to win, and that's exactly what a heel is. And I think it was perfectly booked.
That's the only thing I'll add to it is I did think it was pretty funny that Orton won the match with a leg slap because he was talking so much shit about NXT and their leg slaps. And the most important thing of that night is that Daddy got his belt back. So there's that.
Yeah, after a brief run with Andy Hedder being our prediction champion, Tyler.
I was like, what did Tommaso Ciampa wrestle? I was like, that's what I was thinking.
Tyler won the prediction.
I didn't even get a chance to do this one. So.
And another thing too with the as far as what they did on Raw, I'm just going from memory here. I believe the way they sold it on Raw is some people are calling it the greatest wrestling match ever. So like, yeah, it was that great. That's
some people. I guess some people calling every match the greatest wrestling match ever. What's her name? That idiot that got fired for pinning upside down said Melina versus Alicia Fox was the greatest match ever. So
yeah, the other Funkadactyl.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I thought it was a fantastic match. For a match, I liked it. I just didn't need the crowd noise,
the bells and whistles,
and I didn't need it to be pitched as the greatest match of all time.
Yeah, that was nobody liked that. Only Vince thought that was a good idea.
Oh, by the way, this is the greatest podcast.
Yes,
the greatest wrestling podcast.
You know what they should have got
right here?
They should have just got Shivani to come in and say this is the greatest night in the history of our great sport.
Yeah,
why not? Yeah, you're gonna go all out.
That's gonna be the tagline of today's episode.
Some people are calling this podcast here
the
greatest wrestling podcast.
We are not saying we're the greatest wrestling podcast of all time, but some say
or what were they saying before it? What could be?
Yes.
Many people are saying it. The best people.
All of it's huge. It's huge. Everyone.
Or like Tenacious D always says, this is just a tribute.
Yeah, this is
rumor innuendo.
We should make T-shirts. The greatest wrestling podcast of all time.
Right. You should start throwing around. That's
And
why
the most humble.
That's why it has to be the greatest.
We're not the one saying it.
the greatest
true. That's
indie
why
show
we're
of all time. We got that. The greatest tag match of all time.
Yeah.
You can keep going. Greatest women's match.
On the very
greatest
back of the
cage
shirt
match.
says, disclaimer, we are not the one saying it. People are saying it. Everyone's saying it. It's not me.
No, the back just says some would say.
Yeah.
In
Just
quotation.
take a whole Trump speech and just put it on the back.
Well, then it is the greatest. Then
Yeah.
Look, if we stop rating podcasts, nobody will ever have the best wrestling podcast. of all
Yes, absolutely.
time. If we stop testing people, it'll go away.
Stop testing for COVID and it'll just disappear. That was
That's right.
he nailed it.
You can't argue that
Why
logic.
haven't we not been using this logic the whole time? You want numbers to go down? Stop getting tested.
Hey, want AIDS to go away? Stop having sex.
Yeah. Or just don't
No,
test-
just don't get AIDS tested.
Don't get AIDS
Yeah,
test.
yeah, there you go.
Why'd he die? No one knows.
Don't print a test here. He's still alive.
All we know is AIDS is gone. No, it just, can't be AIDS.
So anyway, SmackDown was a
Yeah.
thing that happened. SmackDown happened before Backlash. We're going to talk about afterward. Speaking of bad WWE comedy, we started with the contract signing between Jeff Hardy and Sheamus, where Sheamus doesn't want to wrestle a junkie.
A junkie.
A junkie. So Jeff Hardy has to take a pee test before.
Didn't Shawn Michaels have to do this?
Yeah, he did with Vince when they were going to wrestle because he was popping pills.
Yeah.
But that's what Vince is like. I want the pill popping Shawn Michaels.
I want the Shawn Michaels that got beat up by 9 guys
Yeah,
on Saturday.
that was so good.
So basically, what happened here is they
I want the old Stone Cold.
they have a little privacy curtain there, and Jeff Hardy steps behind the privacy curtain and unleashes a comedically large amount of urine.
Yeah, I don't know how he what a horse would go. Like Jeff Hardy pissed a 1 liter of soda, not a
Right.
2 liter, but a 1 liter.
The only way you're going to pee that much is if you are drunk and you have been drinking
Yeah.
all day.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be that dark.
It reminded me of the Adam Sandler skit where he's like, "Oh man, I keep pissing. Oh man."
Or Beavis and Butthead, where first they forget how to pee.
Yeah.
And then they get hypnotized, and then they forget how to stop. And then the furniture just keeps rising. That's how much urine was in this thing.
I stepped
you're-
away
you're
for
telling
1
me-
second to
you're-
get a beer because I am a junkie. And just hearing a comedic large amount of pee in a cup. I don't know if you heard me over the mic.
And the
I'm dying
doctor
laughing
is
over it.
holding it the whole time and like stirring it. I'm like, what the? Who would do that?
He's holding like a test strip in
Yeah,
there.
has anyone ever seen a piss test? This isn't what happens. And there's
So
no
you
lid.
guys think
It doesn't
Mike
have to go to a
Ju-
lab.
You guys think Mike Judge wrote this script?
Yeah, maybe.
No, Mike Judge writes good things.
Yeah, yeah.
The funniest part about this for me is the first time I ever had to take a piss test. Because, spoiler alert, I don't use drugs.
Yeah.
And if I did use drugs, I never really had to get tested before.
Right.
When I was younger, I experimented, but I'm not a drug user.
You're not a junkie.
I'm not a junkie.
You're not a junkie.
I'm an alcoholic. So
If they ever do piss tests or that, I'm done.
yeah, I think a lot of people are fucked. So the first time I ever took a piss test for a job, I took it into the bathroom and I filled that bitch to the rim. And I come.
What's
I walk-
usually a little like
There's usually
like
a line.
pill bottle.
I didn't know.
thing.
It's like
did-
Double Dare.
Yeah,
There's
I
a
did-
line in there.
I didn't know. I just thought they needed piss. He didn't really explain. And I walk out and I'm like balancing acting this shit, so I'm not spilling it. And as we do the trade off, it spills on his hand.
Oh,
So like when
usually they give you a lid
Yeah.
now, and you
No.
like put the lid
So
on.
When
and-
I went to get my test, I went to a place to get my test, and they used the same place where people who were on like parole and
oh
people
boy,
who were
That-
on
and someone goes in the bathroom with you.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
to make sure you're not using them
Well,
when
no,
them fake
well,
pisses.
this guy.
That's what WWE does. You have to be like naked from elbow to knee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy
In front
here,
of like a doctor.
he took it super seriously when it came to that. But like, don't use the bat. Like he put dye in the
Well,
toilet.
they
and
say
stuff.
yeah, they'll flush the toilet. Yeah, there's a whole.
But he didn't watch you pee, but it was somewhere where people who were on like probation and stuff had to go
Okay.
once a month. So when he came out, he just goes, "I didn't need that much pee," and it's like spilling everywhere.
Oh God, well, you did fill it.
I Jeff Hardy that shit.
Yeah.
Didn't he say fill it to the line or whatever?
No, he just said to go piss in it. I think he realized. Like, I think he thought because he works with people who do this.
Oh, that you just knew what you were doing.
yeah, I
Oh.
didn't know what I was. So I twisted faded that shit.
But was it 32 ounces of piss?
No, it was not a mason jar full.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The one and only time I had to go for a pee test and I got a promotion at my job, I'm like, okay, the only thing you have to do is you have to pass this drug test. So I walk in there, and I'm my normal, comedic self. And lady goes, "You ready to take your urine test?" I said, "Absolutely. Have been up all night studying for it." Nothing. She no-sold it. Nothing. I was like, oh man. I was like ready to deliver that one-liner. It didn't work.
She's like, "Listen here, you son of a bitch."
Yeah, let's hear it, druggy. You're all druggy.
Just go.
She's like, "Listen here, you junkie."
No, then she saw what the paper was for after I handed it to her, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, okay, this is for promotion." She goes, "We don't get a lot of people like you here." I was like, "What do you mean?" And then she did like the signal, like people shooting up. And I'm like, "Oh, okay. You have yourself a fantastic Tuesday."
Yeah.
Oh, you're a person I don't want to look down.
I had
on.
to get one when I got my job, and it was like, don't go, just go in the toilet. Do not flush the toilet. But they didn't stay in the same room because I'm not drugging.
Yeah, I haven't had to take one. I haven't had to take one.
Go
in
to
years.
jail.
Yeah, it was like. You go in the bathroom, don't flush the toilet. They had like a little temperature thing to make sure we're using.
Yeah.
Like you weren't using.
Or you're not
old
taking
pee.
what do they call it? Clean piss. It was piss. I forget that there's like a word for it.
Well,
like,
you pass your
outside piss.
You pass your tests, but sir, you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Well, Andy, when you went for yours, didn't you tell me that you asked for a magazine? I tried to tell you, I'm like, no, it's not that kind
is that what you need?
Why is
You
your
have one
piss
of
so
those nudie
milky?
magazines?
That'd be fantastic. That's gonna be my next thing.
So how was your test, Andy? It's a boy.
Yeah.
It's a boy. My swimmers are great. All right, next.
So anyway, lo and behold,
enough piss jokes.
Lo and behold,
Here at the greatest podcast of all time, we don't just subject ourselves to piss.
The greatest wrestling podcast.
The greatest wrestling
some would say.
podcast.
it's
of
not
all-
that good. There's
Yeah.
there's better podcasts just not about wrestling.
Yeah. Some would say.
We know the title for
Some
this
would
one.
Yeah. Just we don't subject ourselves to piss. Jokes
Sheamus
for-
gets piss in his face.
Yeah, lo and behold, who would believe it? But somehow at 8:15 p.m. on Fox, you're allowed to throw pee in somebody's face.
It's better to be pissed off than pissed on.
I bet Vince loved that.
He fucking fell off his chair.
Yeah, he liked that more
That's
than
a Stone Cold line.
he liked that probably more than AJ versus Daniel Bryan.
Paul, why aren't you laughing?
Yeah.
Bruce, you're writing wrong.
This is hilarious, Bruce. He threw the piss right in his face.
That's what happened. Bruce chuckled, and Paul was like, "Are we really doing this?" And he's like, "You're fired. You're going back to talent relations. I would really
You're
fire you.
focusing on your in-ring career,
Yeah.
that great in-ring career.
I don't want to
Paul.
really fire you because I don't want you to be a manager for somebody on AEW next week."
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
Just Cody's doing his open challenge. All of a sudden, it's a cell phone cracker
Yeah.
with like an old 1990s giant cell phone.
He needs to manage Big Swole. She's willing to fight anybody. She's willing to act like a drunk.
So then we had a match. How about that? We had a match where Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura defeated the New Day.
It was okay, but the best part was if you watch this match back, look to the top right, Budenhagen is drumming through the whole match.
As he should be.
Yeah.
And at the very beginning, the New Day takes a knee. Related story: the Forgotten Sons are apparently forgotten.
Mm-hmm. Which is not a loss. Yeah. Even before they made any comments, not a loss.
Just get rid of Gunner. Not for his politics. He's just not good. And
No,
the
he's
other guys
not.
are fine. Then we did have a very long, very, very, very good match here. First, he did a nice little review of the Intercontinental title. A lot of different people had it. Shawn, Brett, Pat Patterson, The Rock, Ultimate Warrior, like all these great stars.
Not Chris Jericho.
Not Chris Jericho was had it more than anybody. I think they even mentioned during the show the Honky Tonk Man having the longest reign, but Chris Jericho, I don't think he ever had that belt.
Who's Chris Jericho?
He was a European champion once, wasn't he?
That's like on NXT. They said Fandango won a match at WrestleMania one time.
His debut match
Yeah.
at WrestleMania.
Didn't say who. Guess who?
That would be the perfect time to say who.
Yeah.
This guy that's about to lose
him
this
over.
match beat Chris Jericho.
Yeah, you know that guy who's a champ and
Yeah.
who calls himself
Who's
Le
the
Champion.
star? He beat him.
He lost to this piece of shit.
I like Fandango.
I like him too, but
But not as much as I like this match.
We'll get there.
AJ Styles defeats Daniel Bryan to win the Intercontinental title in an amazing match.
you would think you put two guys in the ring who can work.
Yeah, and let him
Yeah.
actually wrestle.
Yeah,
Who would have thunk it?
Yeah, well, like 40 minutes, something like that. It was long.
Yeah.
I mean, in a good way.
Yeah, 40 minutes.
I
even before the breaks, I think.
Yeah, I can't think of 5 more matches this year I've seen better than this.
have they ever
this was great.
wrestled outside of WWE?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
was actually getting ready to say this is the best match they've ever had. They've had some humdingers in Ring of Honor, and I was actually on a show at IWA Mid South where they wrestled each other.
Oh,
And it was a funny little side note. I remember I'm in the locker room. There's all these, Punk was there, Super Dragon, Roderick Strong, Petey Williams, obviously Bryan and AJ. And I remember the promoter comes in. He goes, "Well, the house is light, boys. Not everybody's going to get paid." And I looked out there. There's 31 people, and I'm like, "Yeah, there's no way that I'm gonna get paid over these guys." So that's just.
So your payment was watching
AJ
AJ versus Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I drove all the way to Indiana. So, and I guess for where it was right across where the building was right across the street from where Indiana University plays basketball, and they were playing Notre Dame that night. And everyone was like, "Why would you book a show literally right across the street when Indiana's playing Notre Dame in basketball?"
I'm a Notre Dame fan, but if you said, "Hey, you can go sit in the locker room and hang out with Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, and AJ Styles and Roderick Strong," fuck you, Notre Dame.
IWA
I
Mid
don't think the fans were allowed in the locker room.
yeah. IWA Mid South had like so much talent, and they never really drew big crowds.
And then it had problems in Kentucky. Like
Yeah.
there's a few with Cornette.
Cornette.
Goddamn.
Yeah, but there's I think I even sent one on the thread of their match from Main Event Spectacle. No, it was from Dissension when Bryan was champion. I think it was like a second title defense. But yeah, they've had some humdingers.
How are they in the
lot?
I mean, I don't know if this is an inappropriate question to ask, but how are they when you're in the back, we hang out, like talking to those guys? Do they associate with people, or are they?
AJ kept to himself. I mean, if you asked him a question, he would probably answer it. But AJ kept to himself. Nice guy. He always, when you go up to him and shake his hand, he would shake your hand. And then same thing when he was never like, a jerk or a big league or anybody. Bryan, I think it's because like we were the ROH kids, we were the ROH students. He would always see us. So he was always nice to everybody. But especially he was always nice to us. And if you asked him to, watch a match or help with a hold, he would always help. I think that he just always naturally wanted to be like a teacher and a trainer. And even in his book, he says because nobody really graduated from his class, that he think he failed as a trainer, and I think that's 100% false because he helped out so many of us. Yeah, but the two of them were really cool. But definitely a double thumbs up to Bryan. He was always just so helpful.
The day of the pay-per-view...
Styles was too busy thinking the world was flat to talk to anybody. Like, these motherfuckers don't know.
In AJ's defense, I remember when we had Paul Bowe on, and he said that was, like, the people that came through PPW, AJ was the nicest.
He
guy.
said that AJ was the coolest dude ever. But
I thought Bryan was about to say, in defense of AJ Styles, the world is flat, and that's about to hang the fuck up.
Is that all it takes? No, I'm
the
joking.
universe is flat.
Yeah.
Yes.
So right before the pay-per-view happened, I went out to go talk to my neighbor. Her son is autistic, so he has autism. So one of the things he's really starting to get into is pro wrestling.
Oh, okay.
He's like, his new thing is pro wrestling. So we came for the pay-per-view. Brian and I stopped and we got the ice cream bars. We finally found the WWE ice cream bars, and I was wearing my Daniel Bryan shirt. So his mom goes, "Oh, look what he's wearing!" And he looked at me and he immediately got down on his knees and he started doing the yes pumps, and it was just so like, here's a kid who like brand new to wrestling and he already is like loves Daniel Bryan. Like I was like, I love this.
Daniel Bryan's magnetic. He's just. I always took it. I always took not offense. I always took. I always disagreed. I'll put it that way. When people are like, "Oh, he's a great wrestler, but he doesn't have personality." Have you ever seen him?
Yeah.
He's great. He's
every
great all
single
around.
thing that WWE's ever tried to do to him, where even when he goes out and loses every single week for almost 3 months straight, he was still the most over guy in the show.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. He's like the only other person I've seen who they not purposely, but try to put him in situations where he was designed not to succeed, but still somehow got over. The only two people in the last maybe 10 years I've seen it happen to was Rusev and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder.
I still think. Rusev and Daniel Bryan got over. I mean, yeah, Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder did, but then
I think Rusev and Daniel Bryan are better.
Yeah, better. Yeah,
but Zack Ryder got over him. Though they tried to.
They really got behind him. I didn't get it at the time. I was like, I don't see it, but people got behind. But poor Rusev, but he'll be doing all right in about 1 month.
Yeah. So next thing.
That was a tough act to follow. Then they hyped up that Matt Riddle makes his in-ring debut this coming week on SmackDown, and then we had
who?
I don't think they said who. I would imagine it'd be like a squash.
I don't think it's gonna be good for Matt Riddle on the main roster. I don't think.
Not with Pritchard, maybe.
Well, they'll probably know he did that comedy stuff in NXT. With
He'll just be a goofball.
Yeah, he'll be a goofball.
I heard that now that Pritchard's in charge, you have to walk in and pick a name out of the box.
Oh
of
yeah,
gimmicks.
the box of gimmicks.
Oh well, Matt. Now you're
Matt Riddle, exterminator. Like what?
You are
He's
now
gonna be the Riddler.
You are now a cow wrangler. Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. He's gonna have question marks all over his tights. That'll be great. His last name's Riddle. Get it?
Yeah.
He's gonna tell jokes and riddles.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't make AJ and Dan Bryan the main event. I would have made that the main event.
I
Because
would've
after
too.
that, I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to
Yeah,
watch
like,
it more.
what can you do after that?
And this match was fine for what it was, but it's not that.
Who was it?
It was Braun Strowman and Heavy Machinery beating The Miz, Morrison, and Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they did a little promo setting up beforehand where it was like Tucker and Otis. And he's like, if you get the chance, cash
Welcome
this
back,
in.
Tucker.
Yeah. He just came back. And it's like, I'm done with the storyline. I don't care already.
Yeah.
Do not care.
Raw?
And they did a thing where during the match where Otis ran to the back because Corbin is kind of menacing Mandy Rose, and he comes back to go to her defense. So that seems to be a feud they're definitely building towards. So Raw. This was the Raw after Backlash. We kind of went out of sequence there, but this was this past Monday's Raw, and it opens with Randy Orton. And again, Randy Orton's just been hitting on all 8 cylinders. All 8 cylinders since really since the whole angle with that started.
Did you have him beat Braun for the belt then?
Different shows.
Oh, is it a different show? Oh,
Yeah,
who has that? Who's
McIntyre.
Drew.
Oh, yeah, then
not
you
McIntyre.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet. McIntyre.
Maybe though. Maybe SummerSlam.
I think Lashley's
If that's
your
the.
guy.
I don't think Bobby's gonna win it. I don't know. I see him being built up to like he's gonna win, but he won't win it.
It depends on if they want to do Lashley and Lesnar. Like that's
Yeah.
the
Yeah, because you can't have Lesnar there just because he's already a draw. You have to somehow put a title on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to just do Lashley and Lesnar in a super fight. That would be great.
Yeah, you don't need a fucking belt. You don't need to hold up your
Winner,
whole
winner
division.
gets Lana.
I would not be in any hurry to maybe. Well, we'll get there. Maybe I would not be in any hurry just to kind of segue here, or not segue. Go back. I would not be in any hurry to take the title off of Drew right now.
No,
I don't think
he's
there's
doing
any need to.
great.
Plus, you really don't know how he'd be in front of a crowd. Now, if he's in front of the crowd and bombs, then have him
Yeah.
drop it.
And so Orton's talking about how he won the greatest match of all time. Edge tore his triceps. He'll be back in. He tried to do a little tease of making maybe it's not as bad as it seems because they said 8 weeks. He's like he'll be back in August of 2029. He'll be gone another 9 years. Great line. And so he's just running everything down, and then Christian comes out, and we have an argument, which basically sets up Orton calling out Christian for a non-sanctioned match later in the evening because he knows that Christian can't get cleared.
Yeah. And he want that one more match. Which you missed, Tony. Back in the day, Christian kept doing this thing with Randy Orton where he's like, I will win the title, just give me one more match. And they kept chanting. And then he eventually did win the belt, but he didn't have long anyway.
And then we had some arguing backstage with Garza and Zelina Vega and Andrade, which leads to Kevin Owens beating Angel Garza, and then leads to just more fighting between the... they don't have a name. That's what was so hard.
The Mexican stable.
The Mexican stable with their Puerto Rican leader,
Yeah.
Zelina Vega.
Well, that's Vince. They're all the same.
Vince is going to make that distinction. But
She speaks Spanish, damn it.
Yeah, she gotta be Mexican. That's where Spanish comes from, right?
Anyone who's down south.
Vince
is instantly
McMahon
Mexican.
Googling on Twitter. Like,
Yeah.
she's not a citizen. She's from Puerto... Oh, she's not even from Puerto Rico. She's from New York.
ain't that down there too?
But no, like, so she just walks out. She's fed up with everything. She walks out on them. Owens gets the win. We have some things backstage with MVP and Lashley, which then leads to MVP and Lashley coming out and basically having a fight with Lana. Lana comes out too. MVP calls her a thought. I'm thinking like, Vince McMahon's like, what did they say?
Yeah, what does that mean?
What's a thought?
Nothing, Vince.
So the thing here is that it all boils down to Lashley wants a divorce. That's,
Already. How many months is it?
not a lot.
4?
Whenever somebody says, I want a divorce on WWE, I always think of when Linda McMahon said it, because her acting was so bad. I want a divorce!
I say it to Heidi all the
I
time.
want a divorce.
I don't really mean it, but I just say it 'cause I think it's funny.
You don't call her a thought, do you?
Sometimes.
No.
No, much worse. But that's our pet name. She calls it to me too. Not thought. Moving along.
Moving along. Yeah, because they're saying, like, that basically...
Save it for her OnlyFans, Tony.
Yeah, that's coming soon, ladies and gentlemen.
Gotta get more of those WWE ice cream bars.
They're fantastic, by the way.
Basically, she was saying she was... Lashley accuses her of only being with him because she wants to get more fans on Instagram. She said she would be with somebody more famous. She should have slept with Drew.
Yeah, why didn't she?
So then backstage, we go backstage with the Street Profits and the Viking Rangers.
That was a good name.
Go Viking
Real
Rangers.
quick though, Drew McIntyre had a great comeback on Twitter. He was like, "I would rather swim through an ocean of sewage with open wounds than sleep with Lana." I was like, Jesus Christ.
Oh.
I'd rather marry Taryn again.
It's not like she's Bertha Faye. My God.
Well, she is when her husband's not with the company anymore.
So the Viking Raiders and the Street Profits are backstage, and they're buddies now. Everybody's friends again. And here come Akira and the Ninjas. And they have the big guy, Jordan Amagbahan is his name. I don't know what they're going to call him. I think they've been calling him Big Jordan in the NXT.
Probably call him Big Black.
I don't know. Vince will probably push for it.
Yeah.
You never know. And so then we have an 8-man tag where it's the Street Profits and the Viking Ranger. I did it again. I keep saying the Viking Rangers.
Almost.
Street Profits and the Viking Raiders against the Ninjas, Akira and 3 more Ninjas. And they are the Viking Profits when they do this. And
Maybe they can like cut the tag belts in half, like with Michelle
Like
McCool.
Cole, yeah.
Like cool.
so then they have a very quick match. The Ninjas just get squashed, but then they tease the big Ninja coming in. And
Where are they going with this? Like, what?
well, where they went with this is the Big Show came out.
Oh.
And they were very. It was funny. They were very careful to not have the big Ninja and the Big Show.
Oh, okay, yeah, because they can't
Close.
flip the guy. Yeah.
And it would be weird because this guy's about 5 inches taller than the Big Show.
Yeah.
So it would be kind of weird to see somebody that big. I don't think they've had a guy that big since probably Khali. And then we had what I thought was probably the highlight of Raw, where you had Seth Rollins and Mysterio. Dominic is lurking around. They're looking for him. Ray is just basically telling him just leave Dominic alone, and Dominic comes in and just rushes everybody. And runs away. I thought Dominic looked all right here. I mean, he didn't have to do a lot, but his timing seemed good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was great. But like I said in the chat, this is just CM Punk and Mysterio pretty much all over again. But that was a great feud too.
Yeah, and it's something where they're kind of. I think they're using, and this is something Paul Heyman was so good at in ECW. The things that Rollins is that make him weak, as far as what he says, like how he talks and everything. I think they're strengths here.
Yeah, they're hiding weaknesses.
Yeah. And then backstage, we have more stuff with R-Truth and with Lashley MVP. What it all boils down to is they're going to do a thing where, at first it was that they were going to do MVP and Lashley against R-Truth and McIntyre, and the 24/7 and the WWE titles being aligned.
Whoa.
And Drew wasn't happy about that, so R-Truth made it better. Just Drew's title's going to be on the line now.
That's funny.
And then the Iconics beat Liv Morgan and Natalya in a quick match.
Is Natalia still doing the thing where
Yeah.
her husband doesn't want to be with her?
I don't know if they really pushed that, but she's still doing the thing where she's frustrated and
Sorry, I had a meltdown.
pretty much, yeah. And she blamed everything on Liv, and then Lana comes out, and it almost seems like that Lana and Natty might become a team where they just complain about everything.
Oh, God.
That's
What do
good
we do
shit.
with Lana?
And by the way, I didn't mention this when the Big Show came out. Turn number 36 for the Big Show, because
Oh,
when we
yeah.
last saw him, he was a heel. He was going against Drew McIntyre. Now he's a good guy, and he's helping the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders.
Ugh, Big Show's one of the guys where I'm like, I don't have to see him ever again. I had my fill of Big Show.
Yeah, I would be okay if we've seen Big Show's last
Yeah.
match. He can keep doing the Netflix show. That's fine. I didn't watch it, but
they're in-
he's really good with those things where he's like with the public. And,
yeah. Good PR guy.
And eventually, despite the Big Show warning him not to, eventually later Ric Flair warning him not to, Christian accepted Orton's challenge for an unsanctioned match. And then we had another thing backstage where MVP approached Apollo Crews, and he's basically, you're working too hard. You don't need to do all these open challenges. You don't need to wrestle every week. And he basically threatens him, like, the only way you're keeping the title is with me in your corner.
He should, I think that's a good idea, having MVP be his mouthpiece, because Apollo really can't talk.
Yeah, and MVP's doing a
Somebody
pretty good
else
job.
can't talk then, too, but we'll get there when we get their Wednesday shows.
And then we had Apollo beating Shelton Benjamin in the non-title match, and Shelton tried to put his feet up on the ropes. The refs saw it, and then as they're arguing, Cruz rolls Shelton Benjamin up and grabs the rope. 1, 2, 3. So I don't know if it's just like, okay, Shelton got his comeuppance, or is Apollo starting to take shortcuts?
Yeah. Which I'm okay with. Give him some personality.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
he's too golden right now.
Yeah.
He needs to be a little bit of a heel.
Because not what he's doing, but his like presentation and everything like that. It's very, to me, like almost Rocky Maivia. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that works anymore. We're just the smiling, shaking hands, kissing
Yeah, people
babies,
start
baby
booing.
face.
Which is maybe what they would want now, if
Yeah.
those fans, because then they could get it to, turn heel on.
And then lo and behold, Drew McIntyre and R-Truth defeat Bobby Lashley and MVP.
Wow.
However, what happened was MVP gets Claymored, and then Truth tags in and comes off the top and pins MVP. If you go by that David Arquette DDP,
Truth just won the title.
Truth should be the WWE champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got the pin. But I guess I said if McIntyre loses, he loses the title.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like whoever wins is the champion.
Yeah, whoever gets the pin gets the world title. They had a match in WWE like that. It was like 5 or 6 people, and then whoever won got
scramble?
the title. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, the scramble matches. The current champion is, and then whoever won.
Oh, that was awful.
Because the current champion for a while was Brian Kendrick.
Yeah.
Then we had Bailey and Sasha did a promo here. The Iconics came out to interrupt, and they even mentioned that when they beat them at WrestleMania, they had breakdowns. They worked that into the.
That's why it disappeared.
Banks broke away.
Yeah.
She cried for a little bit.
Yeah, they said they couldn't handle the pressure. Banks got in their face, and Peyton Royce just slaps her. So those was a good segment, and it was weird because the Iconics were showing a little bit more of a fire. They're a little more serious here. I mean, they're still overwhelmingly entertaining, but they weren't like jokes.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Let's hope so.
And they're supposed to wrestle this coming Monday.
Yeah, this Monday for the titles.
Mhm.
Spoiler for the NXT main event.
Yes.
Sorry, if you haven't watched it yet. If you're relying on this
Well,
show,
I said the Iconics are wrestling. I didn't say who they're wrestling.
yeah, they're going to be challenging whomever the tag team
Yeah.
champion, the women's tag team champions may
Yeah.
be. So then Asuka beat Nia Jax. Weird finish here where there was a argument between the referee and
Kyrie?
Nia.
No, Kyrie wasn't there. It was,
Yeah, the referee and Nia got into it. And John Cone was ref. He went to disqualify Nia. He was going to ring the bell, but Asuka rolls Nia up, so instead he just fast counts her. Very weird.
Yeah, that's weird. No, I'm not going to disqualify it.
Pro wrestling.
And then our main event, which went a full 1 minute, Christian loses to Randy Orton in the unsanctioned match. He comes out like old school lights out match, tape fist, street clothes. All it was missing was like cowboy boots and the knee pads over the jeans.
You got to do that. And
That's
then the best is when they
and a rag hanging out of your back pocket.
Yeah, you
Or a
gotta
bandana,
you
sorry.
gotta have your jeans over your cowboy boots a little bit, and you tape them on. I was like, well, that doesn't make sense.
And so they're doing the introduction, and here comes Ric Flair. And he comes out. He says he talked to Edge. Christian doesn't need to do this. He doesn't need to prove anything. Christian says, no, I have to do it. Turns around. You never turn your back to Ric Flair. Low blow, punt, and Christian is done.
He's done forever. Who else are they gonna get now?
dead.
Rhino's
He's dead.
gonna
He's
come
dead.
fight for Edge.
And I mean,
Lita.
Yeah,
Gangrel. The brood sticks together.
Yeah.
Gangrel's going to come back. Oh, please make it the...
But I guess what
Randy Orton gets blood. He gets the blood
The
bath.
blood bath.
He wakes up. He's covered in
is
blood.
Flair going to be his manager now? Like, what's going on? Like, I don't understand.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I guess that's why you gotta
reform
tune in.
Evolution again. Although last time it was
Tune into WCW Thunder and find out.
Yeah,
We're desperately out of time.
we gotta go.
All right.
So we go in. I think we should go AEW first because NXT is going to be a little more lively. I think.
Yeah.
on
All
this
right.
one.
Well, we are an hour to 11 in, so keep that in mind.
Yep. So for the World Tag Team titles, we had Kenny and Hangman retaining over Dustin and QT Marshall. Pretty
Man,
predictable.
Dustin killed it though.
Dustin's great.
Yeah, he's still really
Dustin's
good.
great.
They all did. All 4 of them did.
Ugh.
Yeah, QT. Like even though like QT's gimmick is like, he's good, but he's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
because it's his QT special thing.
So I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast. So my thing I've been starting to do now is I've been going back and watching Nitro
Okay.
from the beginning all the way back through. I think we talked a little bit in the last week's podcast. And then what I do is I when I get to a pay-per-view, I watch pay-per-view.
Okay.
So I seen my first old DDP match. We and
Yeah.
Brian watched it. It was
DDP against and what a hell of a match to start with. It was DDP against the Renegade.
Oh wow.
And when DDP came out, I said, "Holy shit, is that Kenny Omega?"
With the hair. And
yeah,
everything,
and I mean,
And then the
like,
Renegade came out. I was like, holy shit, that's not the Ultimate
Yeah.
Warrior.
yeah, but like how even like DDP's so animated.
Yeah.
And like you could say like I don't know if Kenny ever says like he gets a lot of his inspiration there, but it's like the same thing for the most part.
I think it's mainly the hair.
Yeah, I think it's just
No,
the hair.
I mean DDP's just super animated too, and he lively, and like Kenny's the same way.
but I mean their wrestling styles are not the same at all.
They're not the same, but I think their energy and their look is very similar.
But you could be like that and not even know it. Like,
Yeah.
And I'm gonna
Kenny
say,
Omega reminds me a lot of Brian Pillman.
Well, it might be the hair too.
Yeah.
No, I mean like their wrestling style.
Oh, man, I don't see that
No?
at all. No.
I could be wrong.
And this match, excellent match in the ring, but the story of it was all built around QT Marshall and Allie and Brandy Rhodes.
Yeah, but I don't know where they're going with that.
And Allie comes out. It's very similar to the Lana thing.
Yeah, Lana's just gonna come out.
Allie comes out, and that's the distraction, and Omega gets the pin on QT Marshall.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match.
Yeah.
Good opener match. Nothing
fun.
blow away. You don't have to see it.
It's very hard for Kenny and Hangman to have a bad
Yeah,
match.
they're a good team.
And Dustin.
Surprisingly good team.
And
Yeah,
Dustin.
yeah. QT's taking
He
away.
didn't drag him down.
Or
or
QT
anything.
Marshall.
So then they announced that Cody will be defending against someone from outside of AEW tonight. That's a big tease for the later in the show. And then we have a promo package.
Well, also we have someone sitting ringside next to commentary's booth.
Who was it?
The role model, Britt
Oh,
Baker,
yeah,
is,
Britt.
is hanging out next
Oh,
to
this
the
is when she
commentary
came out.
table.
Yeah, and her little message thing there with the
she-
clothesline.
And she has a little
was
clothesline
awesome.
message.
and her and Tony were on a friendship break.
Yeah.
Because Tony said something bad.
He told her about that Penelope was getting a
Yeah,
title
the title shot, yeah.
We are on a friendship break, Tony. that was so great. That little thing with the messages.
She said, someone just said that message came through, and he said it, and he's like, and also she doesn't like my tie.
They have amazing chemistry.
we said on the podcast, even though she's hurt, you need to keep her on TV.
Yeah,
and
they are.
And they are, yeah.
And then they had a promo for Anna Jay, just kind of going through like a little personality building. Just still
she
trying
looks
to
like
figure it out.
Zatanna from DC Comics when she comes out.
And then her opponent here is Abaddon.
Yeah, never seen her. She was on Dark once.
That's what
Yeah.
they said, yeah.
Yeah.
She wrestled, I think,
She's
Cheetah.
yeah, she looks like a horror movie girl.
Yeah. Horror movie, and then this is going to be a very obscure reference, Hatchet Face from the John Waters movie Crybaby.
No,
Yeah, very obscure reference.
can't help you there.
Yeah. But great look. Like, you're
Yeah.
going to remember her.
Yeah.
You're going to remember Abaddon.
She's the weird contacts in and face paint, so she looks like she's
Yeah,
dead.
she actually looked creepy. Like
She
her
kind of looks like
gimmick
Rosemary.
worked.
God, I think she looks like more horror movie. She looks
Yeah.
more like a real horror movie character than Rosemary.
And so Abaddon gets the win here.
Yeah,
very
the
good
Basement
showcase for her. And they
Quickly,
kind
yeah.
Anna Jay, though, I think there's something. I think there's
Yeah,
something.
she's
both of these
really
two.
hot, and she's pretty good. In the
She's
ring.
very young
Yeah.
too, so she has a lot of room to like grow.
The
And
promo, her voice, I'm like, she kind of has that Becky Lynch thing. We're like, her voice isn't that attractive. And it was a bland promo, but it was kind of misdirection. So
yeah, and then the Dark Order comes out afterward. They help her out. They give a contract to Colt Cabana or something in an envelope.
yeah, and there's like 10 of them now. I think it's too much.
It's too much,
It's
yeah.
too much now. So I don't know where they're going with that either, but I don't know. It's not good.
because now like Alan Angels is in there as 5. and-
Yeah, it's like, and if you add Anna Jay as the girl number, and then Colt, obviously, I don't think he would join unless Colt infects the guild that makes them happy.
Well,
then it'll light order.
well,
the happy order.
the problem with Anna Jay joining is she's going to be too bad at video games to.
yeah.
Yeah, terrible at video games.
The Smash Brothers are not going to like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure she's good at single player games, but not online multiplayer.
So next up, NJF with Wardlow beat Billy with the Gun Sons. I'm going to call them now.
Yeah, the Gun Sons.
Billy looked good.
Super fun match.
Yeah.
Super fun match.
Yeah, Billy looks
Very
great.
simple.
I think he's like 52 or 53.
And what's her? And Audrey, right?
Aubrey.
Aubrey.
Yeah, Aubrey.
had a great spot where she kicked MJF's hands off
yeah,
the rope.
Yeah, because he was
The old. They're
reaching.
going for the sunset flip and they
Yeah.
grab the ropes.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of hers.
And then we had a big pull apart brawl with Wardlow, MJF, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, Marco.
MJF wins with the that's Abaddon. MJF wins with he puts the ring on and pops him
Yeah.
and puts it down the tights. The classic heel win.
And then,
I like how the camera was on him too, and he's looking at the camera like, I'm about
Yeah.
to cheat, and he's smiling.
yeah,
good.
yeah. MJF has been like really on point lately. Ever since he came back from the layoff, I think his matches have been really
Yeah.
fun to watch. The one with Jungle Boy I thought was excellent.
Oh, him and Jungle Boy, and they're gonna bring that feud back, I guess, because
I have a feeling you're going to see those two wrestle a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things where almost always MJF is going to be a babyface and or a heel, and almost always Jungle Boy is going to be a babyface. So they're going to cross paths a lot. I think it's going to be like a not quite Austin Rock, but
Rock and Roll Midnight. Constantly
Yeah.
wrestling. each
exactly. And that, or like Steamboat and whomever, like
Yeah.
Rick Rude, Tito Santana, and Rick Martel. Yeah, you name it. That's a good because I think Tito Santana is like that eternal babyface,
Yeah.
like Jungle Boy is. And so then Alex Marvez is talking with Jericho and Sammy backstage. Jericho promises they're going to beat the Best Friends to a pulp, and that him and Sammy are more than friends. They're blood brothers, and blood is thicker than orange juice.
Yeah. Which I don't. It depends how pulpy the orange juice is.
Yeah. Or how pulpy the blood is.
Yeah, either or.
If you have pulp in your blood, you should probably get that checked out.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor, but I said. But you know who is a doctor? Britt Baker,
Yeah,
and that's
Britt
who was
Baker.
next. And she.
What a ham-fisted
There we
segue,
go.
sir.
That's why this is the
That was
greatest
fantastic.
wrestling podcast of all time.
Some are saying.
Summer says.
Some are saying.
And so this is Tony and Britt Baker, and this is where the friendship timeout comes in because he does reveal that it's going to be Hikaru Shida and Penelope Ford at Fyter Fest.
Yeah.
And that's where we have Britt just wanting to go away at this point. She wants Reba to drive her away, but Reba's not in the driver's seat. It's Big Swole.
With the steering wheel cam.
Yeah.
Yeah, which that's stupid.
What the steering?
The one thing I loved is where to, Britt, because it's
Yeah.
the total Undertaker where to Stephanie line.
Yeah. But why wouldn't they just put it on the dash? Why would they put it under the steering wheel
I
so
know,
you
yeah. I
can't
don't
see
know.
when she turns the wheel?
Remember he did it with Teddy too.
Yeah.
Where you going, Teddy, or something like that?
But she literally said where to, Britt, because
yeah.
Undertaker.
Which, that's funny.
Because they stashed Stephanie in a limo, and then the
Partition.
the partition
Yeah.
goes down. He looks back, goes, "Where to, Stephanie?" And then she screams, and you fade to black. And then they just drive off, and Britt's now captive. And so then we have our open challenge, and they're talking about how timing is everything, and the timing for Hager just isn't right, so he's a little concerned about the Hager match at Fyter Fest. They did a good job building that. But there's an opponent for tonight. Someone's going to be a good test, and that's when we see the AEW debut of the hottest free agent in wrestling, they say.
Yeah.
I think Rusev might disagree.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Ricky Starks, if you've been watching NWA Power like you should be, former NWA TV champion.
Stroke Daddy.
Stroke Daddy. They did a good job. And I think they had some long-term plans. Obviously, didn't work out because even in the very beginning, Nick Aldis is saying, like, I would buy stock in him.
Yeah.
And things like that. And then he winds up losing the TV title to Zicky Dice, who's doing a great job now. He's doing a great job keeping himself visible throughout all this. But
The guy was impressive.
yeah, Ricky Starks is good. I like Ricky Starks. This is a fun match. And I love how you're starting to see Cody just inch a little bit more heel every week. Like talking about how when I got beat up, the Elite wasn't there.
Yeah.
Dustin wasn't there. QT wasn't there. Is a Nightmare family even a family? And then even the way he's wrestling, it's just very...
I thought that was a fucking ghost. 'Cause I didn't see a step on that. I just seen the whole thing jump. I was like,
It depends on who he's wrestling, but he's doing those little subtle heel things that you're kind of starting to see arc that way a little bit. And I didn't bring it up earlier, but we'll get to it a little bit later on. Somebody's going the opposite way, I think, a little bit.
yeah.
But yeah, good match. I
Who
enjoyed
turns
it.
first, Hangman or Cody?
Cody, I don't know if they turn Hangman. I think Hangman's getting so over as a babyface.
I think the
wondering
initial
Yeah,
plan was.
I agree with Brian. I think Hangman's too popular, and I think Cody's going to be
Yeah.
a better heel.
And the
than
drunk
he is.
thing got over, and then they just happened to be good tag teams, so they got to leave him face
Yeah,
for a
I
while.
think it would be foolish to turn Hangman at this point, and that
I
was the
agree.
plan. But
I would like to see them drop the tag team titles, though. I'd like to see Kenny as a solo. I'd like to see them both as solo runs.
Yeah,
but-
me too.
yeah.
But the team's just good right now, so I
yeah. All right.
So then
Yeah, I think eventually they're going to put the belt on Hangman. I think he's too hot. I think you got to go with it. Do a
Mhm.
face versus face thing with him and Moxley, and just have him win the belt.
yeah, I would do that. And maybe you have Moxley, even before, was a little bit almost a tweener because you had the thing with
Yeah.
Kenny. Moxley's just kind of like this chaotic element.
See, I would do it the reverse. I'd have Cody beat Moxley using his heel turn and using his power as VP, bring that into the storyline, and then have Hangman beat Cody. So then you finally have
Okay.
your first.
You could do that too,
WWE
yeah.
champ.
Or he can just keep messing with Mox to the point where Mox challenges him for the title, and he goes, "Well, I didn't petition for a title fight."
Oh yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right,
I'm not
right.
allowed to.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways it could go. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
we'll
would
find out.
I would keep Hangman right where he is as far as his character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would take him out of tag, sure, but especially because you have so many great tag teams, you don't need
Yeah, you don't
these
need
two
it.
singles
No, no.
guys at the top of the division. You have plenty of depth. And then we have the Young Bucks defeating the Superbad Squad.
Super Death Squad.
Is it Super Death Squad?
Yeah,
I thought it was
that was the
Superbad
Super Bad Death. Yeah, something like that.
Something
yeah.
like that. Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian.
Yeah.
That's-
There you go.
And so they kind of built toward Butcher and the Blade and the Bucks here too. I'm going to guess it's probably going to be a match at Fyter Fest if I had to guess,
Cool.
or maybe some kind of three-way with
That's
FTR.
bunch, wow.
And FTR was at ringside for this one too.
Him in
good
Miami
match.
Vice gear.
The Butcher and Blade look ridiculous.
Oh,
They look like
yeah, I said I'm
hipster ice cream men.
Yeah.
With a Nine
painter-
Inch Nails shirt.
painters that also work down at the docks and
Yeah.
are fishermen. Like I don't know what they look ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's strange. I still like them as a team when they come to the ring, though.
Yeah, I like them, but I mean, like their out of ring look is so drastically different than their in ring look. It's like what's going on there?
Yeah, you go from like looking like a pure white angel to a guy in a fucking gimp mask.
Yeah, like S&M.
That whole team is just like there's never been any real direction. Are
Yeah.
they assassins? Because at first they jumped Cody.
Yeah.
Like they have the bunny, and now the bunny's Alan. You don't even
Like she's
even.
gone. Yeah, it's like
I think they're talented enough that you can rebrand them and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But like either shit or get off the
Like-
pot.
Yeah,
like,
don't keep going different ways with them.
Yeah.
I think AEW does very good with their storytelling at the top of the card, but down the bottom they could use a little more attention to detail. I think.
Yeah.
We did have a video here too with Taz and Brian Cage.
Silly. It didn't make any sense.
Okay, so this is my Brian Cage can't talk.
There you go.
When he talked, I was like, ugh.
But that promo didn't make sense. They were outside of their house and Moxley was there screaming at them.
And they were drinking whey protein because they're both body guys.
Yeah,
It was strange.
it was like what? They're in front of this.
Yeah, he stumbled over his words. He's like, I don't know if I want to break his neck or win the belt or break his neck. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking
Yeah, I was like, this feels like a bad indie promo. Like Taz was all right, and it's
then-
like Brian Cage in his gear in front of a highway for no reason.
And then they do the promo, the counter promo of Moxley at for Cage, and it's the same promo he did last week in the ring to his face.
Yeah.
It was like
So what I said about the top of the card being booked well, maybe not.
yeah. As long as you're
Certain
part of the
things.
elite, you're getting booked well.
Yeah.
yeah. your stories make sense.
As long as you're booking yourself, you're being booked.
Yeah,
well.
hey.
Yeah.
So then they announced that next week we have a lot of things going on. Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy, Mr. Brody Lee and Colt Cabana against Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss.
The Matt Hardy promo photo is him with all his faces behind him
Yeah.
because you don't know which one you're going to
Because
get.
he gets the pick.
Yeah.
We're gonna have Wardlow and Luchasaurus in a lumberjack match.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Natural Nightmares against FTR, and John Moxley in action with Taz on commentary, but they haven't announced the
I'm
opponent.
probably a job guy.
Yeah, or like a mid-range guy, somebody like
maybe,
I don't know,
see, yeah.
Kip Sabian.
Yeah,
somebody like
Let's
that.
hope
Joey.
it's like a Mr. Grimm
Oh, you never know.
or
could
like
be.
an indie guy. Yeah.
And then we had an update on Britt Baker. This is what everybody was worried
Yeah.
about.
Concerned.
Reba used an app and found Britt in a dumpster, and she's gonna sue Big Swole.
Yeah, because Britt popped out and said she's been there for 5 hours. She goes, well, it's really only been like an hour.
And her makeup was all smudged.
Yeah, and she has
had
that-
a banana peel on her.
Yeah, it's like they're just taping her hair.
She gagged. She's killing it.
It was pretty funny. And then she's like, get me out of here. Where's Tony at? He's on a temporary friend zone timeout. Well, get him out of that. And she fired Reba, and then she hired her back immediately. I was like,
get
I
her out
got
of
to buy
the-
her shirt. She's
Yeah.
so good.
She I may pay the $25 shipping and handling at
Yeah.
ProWrestlingTees.com
Yeah.
to get that shirt.
And it's so much WCW Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Like she's calling herself a conspiracy victim. Reba, Rebel, like just getting the names wrong.
yeah.
Tony is like her Ralphus.
Yeah, and then she goes, what are they doing here? And she actually referenced the camera people.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I had to document this to get your rescue. Reba's
good.
pretty good. Reba / Rebel. Eventually she'll turn, but right now you got to keep them all together.
Yeah.
Maybe even add another person into
Yep.
it.
Like a
Yeah,
hairstylist
it's so
or something.
fun.
Yeah,
It's so
until
much
Adam
fun.
Cole comes and then they can.
Yeah.
And then we had the Best Friends defeating Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara to retain their tag title shot.
Fun match.
Yeah,
Very
that was
fun.
pretty good.
Here's a quick little thing I thought was fun during that tag team match with Havoc. The ref legit pulled a pair of pliers out of his tights during the pat down.
Yeah, there you go.
That's an old classic thing. I see a lot of times. The guy who come in and the ref like pulls a chain, and then like the guy's like, whoa, and he pulls like another brass knuckles.
Yeah,
and, like,
so I thought it was funny that during the pat down he actually found a weapon.
Yeah.
And then he just put it in his corner. Like don't
You can
use
have
that.
it, just-
Don't use that. Yeah.
And a chain. What is this, Memphis?
yeah. Jimmy Havoc, you got the rubber mallet. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I guess I don't know.
Yeah, so then this match, sorry, go back to the main event. Fun match.
Yeah.
Then
And
that stupid cameraman tripped Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
not Chris Jericho.
Sammy.
Yeah.
Sammy Guevara.
And starting to see little subtle things as Sammy might be going to the other side.
But it's like, not yet. Like,
I hope
wouldn't
not.
yet.
Yeah, they're so good together, but the future's really bright
Have
for
we
Sammy.
seen the full turn of Orange Cassidy?
The
What do you
full-
mean?
Like two serious Orange Cassidy?
Where he got in the ring and he legit
He's always going to be.
Yeah,
turns it
you're
on.
never going to see.
Yeah.
It's going to be a switch.
Yeah.
You're never going to just have him be a straight up.
Well, he got in the ring and he was like, "I'm here to hurt you."
Yeah,
Like,
well,
he
it
was-
makes sense because he got beat up last week. So
Yeah.
he's not. Now he's
He
short,
wasn't
he's
lazy.
mad.
He didn't like put his hands in his pocket. He didn't let dodge and duck a few attacks first. He went straight at Jericho.
Yeah, but it makes sense. Like now, if he never had an altercation with Jericho, then he could be lazy. But
So when you book this match, you're creative,
yeah,
and Jericho and Orange Cassidy are squaring off. Does Cassidy come out, hands in his pocket?
I don't think he will.
No.
Because he got beat up.
his switch is on immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think this is the match where you show Orange Cassidy can legit wrestle.
And he gets. I think he should get most
you
of the
could show,
match.
but
and-
you knew that when he wrestled Pac though.
Yeah. But I mean, even like with Pac, he started the match with his hands in his
Yeah.
pocket, lazy. I think this is
But
the
that's
match
the
where you
gimmick.
can really show.
But if you watch that match and thought he couldn't wrestle, then just stop watching wrestling.
yeah,
But this one is a grudge match. Yeah, I think you're going to get full
Yeah.
bore from the very
the promo with Jericho cut where he said, "We got some blood out of that orange."
Yeah,
Yeah, awesome. But I'm excited, man. I mean,
yeah, it's
Orange
gonna be cool.
Cassidy versus Jericho.
Yeah, they've done
Yeah.
a good job building some solid stuff for the two Fighter Fest
Yeah,
shows.
I'm excited for the Orange Cassidy Jericho podcast episode. That'll
I-
probably be the next week.
I'm more excited for Orange Cassidy Jericho than I am Jericho Tyson.
Oh yeah, I think
Oh,
everyone is.
hell yeah, dude. I hope they drop that shit.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that's going to be a tag match. It'll be Orange Cassidy and Tyson versus Jericho and Sammy.
It's going to be a lot of eyes on it, though. A lot of eyes.
Yeah. Actually, my order shipped, so I should be getting my Orange Cassidy shirt, my Jericho bandana,
Oh,
and
wow.
my Stadium Stampede
Oh,
loser
the
shirt.
loser shirt for $7.99.
And my 2 mystery shirts, whatever they
Oh,
may
you got
be.
2. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they're two
It might
different
be
orders.
great. You
They're
never
two
know.
different
What if
orders,
they
yeah.
send you the same shirt? You're
That
like,
would-
come on, guys.
that would suck.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
Well, it'd be a giveaway for the podcast.
There you go.
Yeah.
So then NXT was last night as well. This was
And-
So
NXT.
AEW was a good show, but
Yeah.
wasn't great. Not must see.
Yeah.
But-
I thought
nothing bad either. Nothing like
I thought
Yeah,
the
nothing
build up.
offensively bad.
I thought the build up to just I'm gonna go by storyline alone. I thought I'm excited to see the MJF Luchasaurus feud.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm excited for the Orange Cassidy Jericho.
Yeah, I think that everyone.
And I mean the Britt Baker stuff's entertaining, but we're not gonna get anything out of her for a
It's
while.
weird how
because she's
they're teasing her
Yeah.
and Big Swole, but she's not going to wrestle for at least another month.
yeah.
Well, they've already said she's going to be back at All Out, which is going to be Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
It'll
Yeah.
probably be, I would imagine, against Big Swole.
So I mean, story wise, they're the 2 things that were my takeaways.
Mhm.
I didn't hate the show, but it didn't blow me away.
Yeah, it wasn't much to see.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed
Yeah.
it. It was what it was.
It was
NXT.
better than last week's show because last week's show I thought was really not that great for AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I would even say would be like even close to bad on AEW was the Brian Cage thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I think each show had their bad promos.
Yeah.
One was real bad.
If you want to talk about nothing was offensively bad, I think there was a lot offensively bad on NXT,
Yeah.
and that's usually not the case. This was
Yeah.
one of this might have been my least favorite NXT.
Ever.
I can agree.
Ever.
with
Not
it.
counting recap shows because they
Yeah.
don't count.
I can agree with this. Everything you're saying, I can understand 100%. So when we go into the debate, I can understand and agree with you exactly why you thought the show was bad. But I also thought it did push good storyline in the right spots.
And that main event, I thought, was the best match of the 2 shows.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say good storylines.
It pushed storylines.
It made me excited for 2 things on the show.
Maybe
So, like, AEW
EO versus
AEW
Bailey or
has
Sasha.
2 things on it that really has me excited to
Yeah.
watch next week or Fighter Fest. AEW pushed 2 things that one that I definitely wanted, and the other one is a storyline that kind of combines the 2, which I'm kind of interested in. We'll
Okay.
just leave it at that. But we'll get into it. So
and Abaddon and Rick Stark signed. So by the
Yeah,
way.
so they're going to be
Yeah.
fixed.
That's on the
yeah, oh yeah, sorry.
And I
AEW
figured
signs.
Abaddon did when she won the match,
Yeah.
too. So. And Ricky Starks, I think we knew. So anyway, for NXT, we open with the men's tag title match.
By the way,
NXT
there's a
tag
tattoo
title.
shop that we frequent
Yeah.
that's called Abaddon
Abaddon.
Studios.
Yeah, but it's spelled differently.
Yeah.
So this is Imperium against Breezango. So Imperium come out first, and I'm always like, I don't like that. I always want the champion to come out.
Yeah,
second.
me too.
But they did it for
I
a
get
reason.
it, yeah.
Because then instead of Breezango coming out, it's Marsupial
Yeah, which
and
sounds
Fabio
like- yeah.
Emporium.
That's raw level comedy right there.
Yeah, and they have like a little remixed version of their.
Listen.
The remixed song was pretty
Yeah.
good though.
Listen, I love them. They're entertaining.
I didn't love them about
That show
20
could,
seconds into
that
the
show
match.
could be Fandango sitting in the ring for 2 hours going poo poo pee pee doo doo fart fart, and you would like it.
No, I just like the fact that every time they come out, they have a different entrance that you're excited to see, and when they get in the ring, they're still entertaining.
Well, I thought
I think they're good.
I thought when they got in the ring it went way down.
Yeah,
I think they both look worse.
Maybe.
There was part like Fandango was climbing the ropes and he like slipped. I was like, okay, that happens sometimes. He did another move. I was like, ooh. And then the finish was messed up when what's his name went for the DDT and didn't even hit it. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, I'm a Fashion Police fan. I like them.
They're all right, but there's way better teams.
Yeah.
Listen, do I want them to be tag team champions? Probably not. I think there are way better teams, but I think they have a place in wrestling.
I'd say
Oh,
maybe
they
on
definitely have a
Raw and
place, yeah.
SmackDown.
They're fun opening
Yeah.
match babyface tag team, yeah.
But if NXT is going to be Raw and SmackDown, then I guess they're
Yeah.
at home here. This match was so boring. I started fast forwarding through it.
That's the problem. The biggest. This didn't feel like an NXT show. It felt like Raw or
Yeah.
SmackDown.
I could agree with that. Yeah.
If they didn't have yellow all over it and have
Yeah.
blue, I'd be
Have
like,
we
okay, this
have
is
we
SmackDown.
seen our champion on TV since she won?
Io?
Yeah, at the end.
Io.
At the end. she
Oh,
comes
at the
out.
very at the very end. Sorry, yeah.
When Birkin and Lurch, or I said that wrong, Lurkin and whatever
Lorcan
their names
and
are,
Birch, yeah.
when they run out, because they're both bald-headed guys, I thought it was what's his name, Marcel. I was like, how'd he get out already? I'm like,
teleported.
oh, they just look alike.
Now those two I love. I love that team.
That's my issue with you.
I like Imperium, but yeah, they all look
I'm
alike.
a big Oni Lorcan
But
fan.
why is Marcel Botel? They said like, oh, here's this guy, he's Italian-born, blah 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 blah. I'm like, why does he have a French name?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. And they're fake names, so you could have gave him they'd be like, here's our new German superstar, Kensei Nakajima.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a German name.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when they show the commentary team and they have the Russian commentary and the guy's full Asian.
Yeah, and you're like, wait a minute.
You're like, good for him.
But anyway, this match was boring. I like Imperium. but
I
boring,
thought the
yeah.
match was okay. I don't know if I hated it as much as you did, but I felt the finish was a little.
Yeah, it was just used to set up the Imperium versus Birch and Lorcan feud, which I can't wait for.
Yeah, that I'm excited for.
I hope we get more than one match out of it.
Yeah,
So
and that's what I pulled out of it too, was the setup. First off,
And Indus maybe goes off with Breezango.
Oh, yeah.
so for me, someone who did not watch NXT as a weekly show until it came on TV, actually, I mean, I'm guilty. I did not watch when it was on the network.
I missed that when it was on the network.
But I watched every single pay-per-view, and every single pay-per-view, I'm like, holy fuck, NXT's tag team division is unbelievable.
Well, everything
and
was
then
good.
it kind of hit,
Yeah,
and then
women's division.
then it hit TV, and it was like the tag division tanked.
The tag team division is Undisputed Era, and that's it.
I mean, even when the Undisputed Era was tag team champs, it was still interesting because they had good matches.
Yeah.
But then it got to the point where, and the COVID helped because guys couldn't be there and stuff, but it got to the point where, like, you almost forgot they had tag team champions.
Yeah.
And now it's to the point where here's your first step to showing, oh shit, there is tag team champions, and the team they're going to rival against is really talented as well. So it's, to me, this is where I'm saying one of the things that got me excited for the show is showing the fans that they do have equal tag team caliber people in this thing, and the belts are still there
Well, I think
because they fell off.
Well, yeah, they're just like they haven't focused on one team, so.
And then we had another tag team looks like it's coming together. Velveteen Dream was doing an interview, and it was more of the traditional Velveteen Dream. He said the Dream has no recollection of that.
Yeah, which I like. That's a good
He
line.
was back to being more of himself.
I
than
don't
he
want
has
them
been.
as tag teams.
No, I don't either.
Well,
Yeah.
the WWE loves the wacky mismatched
Yeah.
tag team,
Yeah.
and Velveteen Dream doesn't want to be a tag team either.
Personally,
Let's put Prince with the serial killer.
when Pete Dunne and them won the belts,
Yeah.
that ruined the tag team division for me because
Oh,
you
see,
have
I-
all these established tag teams and then two.
Well, you
two-
only had
They
two
also had
teams.
to scramble because they got the Matt Riddle thing sprung on them too.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's a big factor of what happened here.
yeah, so that I don't know.
And that's another issue when they have that tournament every year, and every year it's two singles wrestlers
Yeah.
that win the damn thing. It's
Exactly.
like so stupid.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like that either. But I wound up liking Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle, but you knew it was only going to be a short time.
Exactly. I didn't mind the tag team; they were entertaining. But at the end of the day, I still think when there's two people who enter a thing to, like, if Blue and Gold were to enter, right, and then they establish you guys as two guys who've been together the whole time, they're working together, they're a tag team, and then they put me and some fucking random dude together,
Yeah, they win.
and you
But
guys
that's-
have this chemistry. Like it ruins that chemistry
They,
aspect.
they always do that with that tournament,
Yeah,
though.
the very first one.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was the first one. Was Samoa Joe and Finn Balor beating the Revival?
and,
Yep.
and
Yep,
that's
that
what
was
kind
the
of
first one.
tanked.
Yep.
That's what kind of tanked the tag team division for me. Where I was like, I'm not. It doesn't feel as lustrous as, because you have all these well-established teams losing to two guys who just got teamed up together a week ago.
But then there was some other random teams, too. But, yeah.
But some of those teams shined. The Grizzly Young Vets were awesome in it.
Oh, they're
You
good.
had-
They've been a
Yeah.
team forever.
yeah, I mean, but I'm saying you
Well,
have all these really established teams who then lost to these guys who just got paired together a week ago.
Yeah.
Well, let me play devil's advocate. And you talked about me and Header. One of the last matches we had was at the True Training thing, and it was me and Header, the established team,
Mhm.
best team in that promotion, in my opinion, and we wrestled the two champions, Trajan and Clay. and Trajan and Clay went over. We had no problem. The way we laid out the match was, in order for us to get the advantage, we have to do double team moves. In order for them to get the advantage, they have to do single moves. So you have two great singles wrestlers, a la Joe Balor. You know, you don't mind that. Even when I think when Bill Watts did a tournament, like his first big tag tournament, he had Dusty and Andre go over. And Dusty and Andre weren't a tag team, and they weren't even established in the territory. But it makes sense. You know, Andre's an attraction, and Dusty's a big star. You know, a little more up north. So I guess it all depends on how you lay it out. Like, I see both your points of views. I don't have a problem with it. Even like when Michaels and Austin won the tag titles. They're the two biggest guys, two hottest guys in the territory.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't mind it, but there's just a certain way to do it. If you do it right, I don't mind it.
And listen, that's what just happened right now is the beautiful thing about our show. We each have a different opinion, and he sold me. You know what I mean? Like, right. You know what I mean? Like, he just, on his just opinion there, I'm like, you know what? You're right. You know what I mean? So I agree with you.
And it's
like, who's gonna? I mean, who's gonna? Like, I see your point. Like the first Dusty Cup. At the same time, obviously, I'm a huge Samoa Joe fan. He helped train me. I mean, who's not a fan of Prince Devitt, Finn Balor? Put them together, they win the tournament. Hey, great! I got no problem with it.
And it was a bridge too to them having a solo or single shoot too. So
well, that's the reason I had a problem with it, because I hate when, just like when AEW just did this 3 weeks ago. I hate when they build a tournament around an upcoming feud. Like, their feud was just about Cody and Lance Archer. Like, they didn't need to have a final just over the belt when you knew they were going to feud anyways. And that's why I didn't like when Balor and Joe won.
Even really
it was
feud.
Just like, I know they're just going to turn on each other and they're going to feud. So what the hell's the point?
Yeah, that was just the last match. The feud was for the match. Like, there's not still feuding.
If you're going to build a tag team division to push a singles guy afterwards, that bothers me.
Yeah.
It depends. You have to serve different things sometimes, and then at some point
every Dusty Cup shouldn't be won by two guys put together a week before.
Ricochet and Aleister Black.
Maybe
the only team that's ever won, I believe, was AOP.
Yeah, and that was like the one where they barely did it. It was them and like TM6-1 in the finals.
Maybe the next Dusty Cup, if that happens again.
Technically, Undisputed there, but that was when Roddy joined them, so not really.
Yeah.
But that was because they had to do the audible because of Bobby Fish getting hurt.
Yeah. And listen, a lot of these storylines, it's easy for us to armchair quarterback now and say they're all terrible, but no one in wrestling expected COVID to happen. So that probably put a huge rail spike into every story that we're seeing right now. A lot of it's probably catch-up. They're scrambling to make something happen.
Yeah.
All right, what's our next?
So up next, and it's funny, we brought this guy up during Backlash when we were all sitting around because Nikki Cross is around, and I'm like, whatever happened to her husband? Like, you never see him around, Killian Dane, and here he is. He loses to Damian Priest here.
He looked cool, though.
Yeah. And he looked great. He looked like he lost so much weight. He looked fantastic.
They edited this out of Hulu.
Yeah.
Did they?
Tell you what, though, Damian Priest, the way they're pushing him and the way they're making his angle look, he has more personality.
I haven't been too bothered by Damian Priest. He's been doing all right for me lately.
I didn't see it, so I can't
Yeah,
say.
it wasn't. I'm more of a Damian Priest fan now after this Finn feud than I was going into it. And it wasn't their match that got me. I think the way they pushed him on this episode made me... I'm interested to see what they do with Damian. Even though he's wrestling a character who I feel is not very
Who is he
fun.
wrestling?
Like, he's not...
Oh, he's wrestling that guy. Oh, what's his name?
The guy with the top hat.
Cameron Grimes.
I
Cameron
like him. I don't know.
He's kind of... I don't know. He's like
his character makes no sense, but I like him as a wrestler.
So that's their new feud, is him and Cameron, which it's not a terrible feud, but I'm more of a Priest fan going into it than I was before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was a solid match, and now let's just drop the show off a cliff.
Yeah.
So Robert Stone is seen around, and he's drunk. He's very clearly drunk. He's drinking out of a brown paper bag.
Oh, why no?
Our next match is Aaliyah and Xia Li. And so they're having their match, and eventually Robert Stone gets up on the apron, barely.
Well, Aaliyah on her way to the ring sees him sitting in the crowd, just with a bottle and his clothes half on and off, no shoes, just drunk. Budenhagen is just like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? And Aaliyah goes over and picks him up and says, you're down on your luck. Just come to the ring, be my manager this match. Stand right here. And they have a match and go ahead.
Aaliyah's not very good, and Xia Li is real green.
That's
the blind leading the blind. Now.
Robert Stone up on the apron, and he vomits on Xia Li.
And he vomits in the ring. He misses everybody, but there's a lot of vomit.
And this is a great thing to do during a pandemic. Just have somebody projectile spit everywhere. This is a great idea. And then that,
especially when you fail a test.
So Vince got within a week's time piss and vomit. He's probably loving it.
There's a poop joke coming.
Yeah.
There's got to be a poop.
They'll dump shit on something like this for his squad.
I think that Baron Corbin's going to go too far with Mandy. And Otis is going to do that thing you sometimes see at the zoo where he's going to defecate in his hand and then throw it at Baron Corbin.
Okay.
And that's going to be your main event angle on SmackDown.
It's coming.
Or the whole hog pan match.
Listen, here's the thing. If poop happens within the next 2 weeks, we fucking called it again. I'm just saying. We've been nailing predictions.
Shit happens. Right?
Shayna Baszler we called fucking 5 months ago. You know what I mean?
Anybody could have called that. And so up next we had a vignette with Timothy Thatcher.
I kind of like this.
This
though.
I thought was fine.
Yeah.
Because you're building a character.
These are great.
Yeah. And he's just torturing people. He's like Cobra Kai, basically.
Yeah, it reminded me of like Stu Hart.
Stu
too.
Hart.
He's just stretching people. This is how you do a double wrist lock.
And I love that he called it a double wrist lock, too, not a Kimura. It's a double wrist lock.
I didn't like it at first, and as it went on, I liked it.
Yeah, this wasn't bad.
And it's great because Timothy Thatcher, maybe that part of it, like the personality part of it.
Yeah, he
is
needed
like
some
his
personality.
weakest
This will
part.
help his character.
And yeah, they're building a good character. He's like basically John Kreese meets Billy Robinson.
Yeah. Then after this, it was.
Yeah. Then we had the Undisputed Era taking Roddy Strong to therapy. Strong is disheveled. He's not quite Robert Stone bad, but he's afraid of Dexter Loomis. He's traumatized by being put in the trunk of the car and almost
he died,
murdered.
but he didn't die.
Yeah.
But Bobby Fish is okay.
Yeah, Bobby Fish is fine.
Yeah.
But Roddy's having problems, so they're going to take Roddy to the doctor. And so they tell him to close his eyes, and the doctor's reading a book. And I'm certain, like, okay, this is going to be Dr. Shelby.
Yeah, that'd
That's
be
what
a
I
good
thought it was
play,
gonna
yeah.
be. And nope, it's Kyle O'Reilly in a weird fake beard doing a weird voice. And then they do, like, ink blot things, and it's just bad WWE comedy.
Yeah, this sucked. And then finally they try to get Roddy to go in the trunk of a limo, and he runs away.
And scene.
Yeah. And then Adam Cole's like, we have to go get him now. I was like, this sucked. They could have had a match. Budenhagen could have wrestled somebody.
Yeah, him with the beard was funny though, because I think the whole thing is he looks so drastically different.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
they can disguise him.
The three best wrestlers, or the four, I guess. Bobby Fish, I could take him or leave him. Like I think he's good, but he's not as good as the other three.
Yeah.
And they're doing this.
Yeah, bad comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Cole's promo next was his solo promo. I didn't mind it.
I disagreed.
We'll get there.
Yeah, so he's backstage, and you have a little bit of a argument between Adam Cole and Keith Lee. They smash the hourglass, so they're kind of like, oh, you're tempting fate there. And then we had a long promo.
Yeah.
We had a long promo.
That was way too long. Adam Cole's a good talker, but you could tell this was like, here's your script, and this is what you have to say, and then here comes this guy. I hate this.
It was very paint by numbers.
Yeah, it's the opening of Raw.
The matches they're leading to are going to be very good, but it was very paint by numbers. It was generic promo 5.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was like,
I enjoyed it.
Maybe he is going to AEW.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the promo.
Well, you're more of a Raw fan.
Yeah.
Maybe
the Raw type of show.
Maybe
this was a good wrestling show for people who like sports entertainment.
Yeah, if you enjoy Raw every week, you enjoy the show.
Maybe I'm just preconditioned because I watch so much of it, so I kind of have a blinders up on what's. I don't know. I could be, but
I think my problem is I have higher expectations.
I fast forwarded
do Raw and SmackDown
to when they all came out, and then I see what they said at the end sets up the match.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, the match will be great.
I'm excited for the matches.
Yeah, me too. I don't want the belts unified like Meltzer said they're going to do. I'm like, ugh.
I know. I hate that. That just drives me crazy. Why the hell are they unifying these two titles? That makes no sense.
Yeah, why would Adam Cole... If Adam Cole's the world champion, why would he want the lesser title?
Makes no sense. I mean, they did it with New Japan, and who knows? Maybe they'll just unify them and just for a rating and then split them up.
I mean, to be completely honest,
that.
I mean, I know we all love New Japan, but I hated that too. I wasn't a fan of that either, but I especially hated it for this because at least there were some big stakes. Like, you were at the main event of Wrestle Kingdom for that. Now it's just like they're going to do it on television. The match is taking place on free TV. Like,
now,
what the fuck?
I know it's been...
Because of Fyter Fest.
I know it's been speculated.
Okay, yeah.
I know it's been speculated that Adam Cole has signed a deal back in December. Is that official?
No, they never said. Yeah. So I don't know.
He signed a deal about a year ago. He's got 2 years left in his contract.
They said that everyone was going to get a bump in pay to go against AEW.
Yeah.
But then there was never any official word.
Here's my thing.
Like WWE never say anything, but not that they do.
They don't, I don't know if he's not officially signed.
Mm-hmm.
This could be a thing where, like, hey, if you don't sign soon, the next guy that we can put your belt on that could make something of it is either Gargano or Keith Lee.
Yeah. But I would even
Or
the natural progress, even if he did sign for 3 years.
or you're going to sign first for 3 years. We're going to make you champ because that seems to be what's popular in sports right now.
Yeah.
Because regardless of what you may think as a wrestling fan, they definitely take what's happening in UFC.
Oh, is there a double champion?
That UFC has been a big thing with putting 2 belts on one guy, and ever since they started doing it, WWE has been trying to follow suit. Am I wrong, Tyler?
No, you're 100% correct.
So
Yeah, Cormier, McGregor, Amanda. Yeah, there's been a
what's his name? Who was just on AEW? Who just retired?
Henry Cejudo.
Henry Cejudo, yep.
So maybe it's like, hey, you sign this contract, we'll put 2 belts on you, and then they can do a thing later on where he's just to say, you've been the greatest guy in the, because if they're going to keep him, they have to put him over as he's one of the best guys in wrestling today. So they can sit there without saying it. If you're a wrestling fan, you're like, well, this guy dominated ROH, this guy dominated here, this guy dominated there. Now he came to NXT and he's dominated every division here, and now he has 2 of our belts. So if you're keeping him, you're building him up to be this giant superstar.
I don't think that would really make a big difference for how he would want to stay or go. I mean, he's already kind of cemented as, like, I think where they're really going long term is you're going to get Cole and Balor, and it's the build up is who is the greatest NXT champion of all time.
Yeah, I could see that.
And that's where I think maybe Cole can drop one of his belts and then have to defend his other one later on and drop it and then go main roster.
Because and basically what they're doing is next week they're doing Keith Lee, Balor, and Gargano in a 3-way for the North American title. The winner of that then wrestles Adam Cole on the 8th for title versus title. Winner take all.
Both should be good matches.
Do you think Keith Lee drops that?
What I just said, I would say that I think your end goal might be Balor and Gargano, but I wouldn't have Keith Lee lose right now. He's got a lot of momentum.
If anything, I would have Adam Cole be the one to beat Keith Lee, but not clean, but with help of his friends, get both belts, and then he drops him to Finn later.
I think where we're running with this is the title versus title match is going to be a schmoz, and Karrion Kross is going to mess it up.
Okay, yeah. So
that's what I think is going to happen.
Because he gets his world title shot, but I wouldn't put the belt on him.
No, too soon.
Yeah.
But
see, I think Keith Lee's going to win the triple threat, and then Karrion Kross will interfere in the match and attack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I think.
There was something else that happened.
They broke Fox.
There was something else that happened here too, where what's his name came down and beat up the dude and said, "I'm challenging Karrion Kross."
Oh yeah, he had a job match. The thick boy Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed.
Yeah, he I thought it was Cheeseburger that came out at first. Like, what's Cheeseburger doing? I was like, oh, it's never.
But Karrion, because I missed last week, but when Karrion Kross bodied him, to me,
gave him a suplex.
Yeah, when he's like suplexed
that was
him,
like his debut.
But I was like, that builds that. Like, I think him beating a big dude like that makes him look more like a menacing threat.
Yeah, than some
Yeah,
random
that's
job
why
guy.
they did it.
Yeah. So I don't know. So does Karrion Kross now? Because it's weird because there's so much convolution there. Where does Karrion Kross go after this jobber and it means nothing, or does he say?
Well, he beats the jobber, so that way he could say, "I get the title shot, and now I'm going to win the belt."
Yeah,
but I would not put the belt on him.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, and then we had a backstage fight with Mia Yim and Candice LeRae. So
yeah, it was real quick.
Still rocking Timberland boots with jogging pants.
No, she didn't have. She had shorts on
with Daisy Dukes and Timberland boots. Yeah,
Daisy
that's
Dukes
what it was. Yeah.
Dakota Kai did get a quick win over Caden Carter.
Oh, that was cut out.
Well, here's the thing too. What's his name? Still a babyface, but still kind of cutting some heel promos where he said, "Your wife whispered in my ear saying that was the greatest thing I ever had," and he's like, "You're a liar." All right, here's the thing: Johnny Gargano playing that heel. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, the heel character is fine. I don't have a problem with Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, that was funny to me.
I just don't need 15 minutes of that.
When he was like, "You're a liar, you're a liar, you're a liar," she never said that. I thought it was funny. But all right, I'm sorry.
And they did a little hype video for Mercedes. So Mercedes,
did they? Wow, they cut that
out.
out.
Very excited for this. So if they in any shape or form somehow bring her back into the women's picture,
and it seems like they are,
I am a fan of. I am very, very high on Mercedes Martinez. I think when you rank the top 5 female wrestlers in the world, she's in talks of top 5.
I wouldn't put her there, but
she's
your
good.
opinion?
But I don't know if I ever.
I think if Charlotte there is very high.
Charlotte would be in my top 5. Yeah.
Baszler's in the top 5.
And I just kind of see that. I don't know.
EO's top 5.
Yes.
Asuka's top 5.
Yes.
And I think Mercedes is very close.
Sure, that's your opinion. Absolutely, I put Tessa Blanchard in there.
Yeah.
Tessa, I would definitely have.
It should be 10.
Here's
10.
Here's the only reason why I would take Tessa out. if I'm building a company around somebody,
Yeah.
with Tessa's track record,
Yeah, but we're not. We're
talking about wrestling.
in-ring
Yeah.
talent.
because she's too flaky.
Yeah, but that don't.
I would build.
That-
I would build a company around Mercedes.
But we're not
Martinez.
saying. We're just saying who's the best.
Yeah, I think she's good.
She's definitely
Yeah,
good.
that's saying
Yeah.
she's not
She's
good.
very good. And then we had, as we were just mentioning, Bronson Reed beat Leon Ruff really quick, and then he challenged Karrion Kross.
Yeah. Sorry, I jumped too far ahead.
And then we had somebody slashed Damian Priest tires, and that's where we had
Oh, really?
Cameron
So-
Grimes.
I didn't
So
see that.
kind of going back to SmackDown, where they should have just probably ended it with the high note. I would have ended NXT with the promo to set up your next show. That's how I would have ended.
Oh,
I'm okay- yeah.
Over the women's tag match.
No,
I'm
with the-
okay
with
with
the
what
guys.
they did because they
Yeah.
set up something in the end too here.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm saying you would have that in NXT over the women's tag match.
maybe because I thought the women's tag for going into that, you're putting two people together to go against Bayley and Sasha.
they're gonna win.
You
but I mean,
know, like
but the match was good.
yeah, I thought the match was good, but it was like one of those things where I just couldn't get my hopes up.
I always like to end on a match rather than
Yeah,
a promo.
me too.
Yeah,
Yeah, main event promo,
Especially a
did
long-winded
nothing for me.
promo. Ooh.
yeah, you know what, you're right there. Yeah.
Because if we're in the and nobody flips anymore, like I watched AEW live, then I watched NXT right after. That's what I usually do. If it was a thing where you're flipping channels and it's okay, I can watch these guys talk, or I can watch Chris Jericho wrestle.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
watching
gonna watch.
Jericho.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then we
Yeah,
had
because AEW did end with a Tyson bit, and that did not end very well.
Orange
Yeah.
Cassidy outdrew it actually.
Yeah.
Then we had a promo from Santos Escobar, formerly El Hijo del Fantasma.
This name sucks.
I don't like the name. I would have kept him in the mask.
Yeah, me too.
I think they did as good a job as possible explaining it here. He talked about the legacy. He kind of
Yeah.
oversold it, saying El Fantasma was the most famous luchador of all
Yeah,
time.
and then he said he was Phantasma for 20 years.
Yeah.
How old is this guy?
Yeah.
Unless he started wrestling.
Well,
when he
didn't
was
he say
12.
his dad did it for 20 years, then he took over?
Oh, I
as
thought he said
junior?
he. Yeah.
yeah, and El Fantasma was not the most famous
Yeah,
luchador.
I
That would be El Santo.
Yeah.
But the whole
There's
thing
a
is
lot
like
of people above.
yeah, El Hijo del Santo.
Listen, he was the biggest guy in his area.
Some would
of-
say.
Yeah.
He
Some
was
would
the-
say the greatest luchador.
See, my problem is what's this guy's different than Andrade, except he has two guys with him.
And he's going to be a leader and not a luchador. So
Yeah.
he's basically saying he's going to kind of take over. He's going to be a leader of leaders. I think the advantage he has over Andrade is his English is a lot better.
Yeah, that's true.
But then Drake Maverick comes out and just gets the crap kicked out of him.
Yeah, he came out and I was like, you get fired and then rehired.
Yeah, you have no shot here.
I just don't care about him anymore because of that whole thing that did the opposite for me. I just don't want to see him.
Yeah.
So next week on NXT, we have the North American title three-way we were talking about with Keith Lee, Gargano, and Finn Balor. Bronson Reed and Karrion Kross, Damian Priest and Cameron Grimes. I almost said Vic Grimes.
Well, maybe he's coming.
In a scaffold match.
Yeah.
No, don't do that ever again. But I just mean scaffold
Now,
matches.
are they ever gonna ask the question? Is Killer Cross related to Nikki Cross?
Maybe.
They're brother and
No,
sister.
different spelling. It's
Oh,
a
that's
K.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
different
right.
Spelling.
Can't be. Don't be confused.
He's
They're
related to
spelled
the rappers that wore their clothes backwards.
Yeah, he's rated to
Crisscross.
crisscross. Yeah.
And then in our main event, Sasha Banks and Bayley defeat Shotzi and Tegan to retain the titles. Really good match. I agree with what Matt said earlier. I thought it was the best match on either show. The only thing I didn't like was the ending.
Finish was a little weird when she pushed her back.
I
into
love the finish. I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was a very heel tactic. Very, very brilliant. That's something that
Dude, Katie Forbes has a
Cornette would come up with.
Wow.
I thought that was fantastic. I thought that was, seven over my words. I thought it was brilliant. I thought the ending was terrific. It made perfect sense. Shotzi had her in like the modified cattle mutilation,
Yeah.
and then the ref got distracted, and then Bayley comes over and just swoops her right back over, and Sasha puts her in the
Yeah,
back
she
stage.
pushed her.
Okay.
It was
Yeah,
a little
just
bit
tap
of a deflated ending for me. Though I'm like, we'll go to
Shotzi needs to get some.
Nah.
More, she needs a little more work in the ring now, but that's why she's at NXT.
Yeah.
I guess my big thing, and I get it because it was all like heat of the moment. I'm always a little iffy on endings where it kind of relies on the babyface being dumb.
Yeah.
Where Tegan could just drop the chair out of the ring, like, no, look.
Yeah.
But then again, it's wrestling.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can't really
But
split hairs too much.
Yeah, the match was very good though. I thought.
Do you think Tegan is a future WWE Women's Champion?
Probably, possibility. Yeah, I mean, she's really pretty. And she's good.
Yeah, she's very good.
I can see Shotzi winning the belt too, though.
They're-
After a while.
I know Triple H was very high on her. She was Tegan was supposed to win
Yeah.
the second Mae Young
Which is
Classic before
crazy
got
to
hurt.
think about.
She was
one
hurt
that,
the first one,
Tony Storm wound up
and
winning.
then she's hurt in the second one. It's like, wow.
Yeah. To think that she's supposed to go over Tony Storm is a big deal because Tony Storm was huge on like just
Yeah.
the UK scene, the indie scene,
And Io was in that tournament. That was
Yeah.
the finals.
Yeah.
And then,
But I mean, Io is also an Asian phenom.
Kyrie won the first Male
Yeah,
class.
Io's a Asian phenom, and then Toni Storm is a pretty blonde.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
it's everything about WWE should be winning. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
And then in the very end, like we were mentioning earlier, Io Shirai
And
comes
real
out
quick,
to clear the ring.
Not taking anything from Toni Storm because she's fantastic in the ring as well.
Oh, yeah, she's excellent.
So I don't want to just say she's only one
And
because she's a
currently MIA.
yeah.
I guess she's stuck in England, but
Yeah.
or Ireland, wherever.
But go ahead, Brian.
Io came out at the very end and kind of.
Yeah, so where are they going with this? Is Io is she gonna wrestle Bailey or Sasha or both, or like?
I would like to see her
I'll take
wrestle
it.
Banks. Does Banks get her title, and now the
They have 4
horsemen
belts.
have 4 belts?
We would have to have Charlotte win too.
I don't see Io losing.
I think
the
you
belt.
do. I think you do Io and Bailey, and Bailey wants to go Bailey Trace belts.
Okay,
and
yeah.
like even like I'm one better than Becky if I do this.
Yeah,
like, you
but
can
but
make that
the
tease.
match isn't for the SmackDown Women's belt.
No, it's just for the
yeah,
NXT.
yeah. I can
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah, yeah, because I love
That'd be
Asuka as
good.
champion, but it's only a matter of time before Charlotte takes it off her.
Yeah, I mean,
I need that.
But,
please
I don't
please
know.
have me that
Io
title.
versus Sasha will be good, and Io versus Bailey will be
Asuka
good.
and Charlotte are going to have a match this Monday for the title, which was announced like a
Uh-oh.
couple hours ago.
Start the clock.
Where's too bad that hourglass got broke.
Yeah. Damn Keith Lee.
Yeah. You know, like looking back, areas again at 11 o'clock. Sorry, I had phlegm. Yeah, I mean the build-ups were interesting. There's stuff that has me excited for next week's show. Maybe it didn't land as hard as it should have, but it has me interested enough to tune in next week to find out what's going to happen.
I want to see those matches.
Yeah, the matches.
Yeah, the matches.
The other
The
stuff I don't care
problem
about
for
at
me
all.
was the bad stuff that should be on Raw.
Yeah.
It's the throwing up and the goofy psychiatrist stuff. And
You could tell that's Vince and Bruce Pritchard.
It's like-
and not Triple H.
Yeah.
But where's the line where it is okay to do some comedy in a show, though?
When it's good comedy.
Yeah. You can
But
do
that's
anything as long as
But
it's
that's
good.
subjective.
No, not really. I mean,
So what doesn't land for you as comedy may land
this
for
is,
somebody
this is
else.
true, but I mean, but when something's a bad movie, you'd
Yeah.
be like, well, that's a bad movie. And it's
But
like-
once again, it could be
I-
subjective.
Yeah, but
Right,
then
so
that...
you can use that to defend literally anything.
Yeah. So then what is good and what's bad
Because
then?
like I said, like we didn't like the
Like if
Street
I just start
Profit.
hitting this table, oh, that's good music. No, it's me hitting a table.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. It's definitely.
I mean, that we all said that Undisputed Era segment was bad.
I didn't like it, but I thought the only part about that I enjoyed was what's his name just being in a different because he looks so drastically different and his voice entertained me a little bit, but the overall sketch was stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one ink blot that was.
But I mean, there's good comedy. Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. That was great comedy.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
look how great that was, and look at this that's not funny, and the Street Profits, Viking Raiders stuff that's not funny.
Yeah,
And a lot of the New Day stuff that's
I
not
would
funny.
take the shrink skit over the Viking Raiders thing.
Yeah, I think I would too. Yeah.
Right, because
There's levels of
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah,
because I love comedy too. Like I love stand-up comedy. I like comedy's like some of my favorite movies. It offends me as a fan of comedy as much as it offends me as a fan of wrestling. So they're pissing me off twice with some of the stuff.
and listen, if you're listening to this and you think, well, hey, I like that, you're allowed to.
Yeah,
100%.
if you
We're
like
not.
that, yeah.
We're not diminishing you as a wrestling fan. Saying if you don't like or agree with everything we say, you are 100% allowed to have your opinion, and that's just. I just want to leave it at that. Like
Some people like that Street Profits.
when people tune in and
Thing on the
say,
pay-per-view.
when people turn in and say, well, fuck these guys, they don't like anything. That's not. We I think all of us have enough. If all 5 of the people at the table don't like it, that's one thing. But I think if like one person's like, well, I mean, I'm just trying to play
Yeah,
that balance.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Like what you want. Like
Yeah,
what you want.
yeah,
guys.
exactly.
Like what you want, but there's some
Okay.
things that are bad.
Mhm.
They're just generally bad. The Catwoman movie.
Oh, that
There's
was hard.
probably some asshole out there that thinks it's great, but it's bad. It
They're
sucks.
like, man, we get to look
And
at
that's
Halle Berry
okay.
for 2
Yeah.
hours.
And
Yeah, if
that's okay.
if
They
you
can
like the
that.
Catwoman, but
fine.
that's a bad movie.
Yeah. So we hit the 2-hour mark. Andy, what do you? Well, let's get.
Well, we had to go long. It's the greatest wrestling podcast.
we
Yeah,
are-
the greatest. Some would say it's the greatest.
Yeah,
wrestling podcast.
we're getting a shirt made. That's gonna be out. I'm gonna work on. I think Teespring, you could just do like a text shirt where you can just put the text
Some
on
will
there.
say this was the greatest wrestling.
Yeah, no, it's gonna say on the front, the greatest wrestling podcast of all time, and on the
Little
back,
asterisk on it?
and then the back will say, some will say, yeah. That's get ready for that this week. Next week it'll drop. It's gonna be dropping very soon. I probably won't ever buy it personally, but
coming to Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yeah. Well, it'll just say
a shirt that nobody wants.
yeah, it'll be the
I
nobody.
don't really want that shirt.
Nobody wants this shirt, but if someone wears it, good for you.
Oh boy. Oh my.
Some will say you have the best shirt of all time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You guys are going to be plugging kind of the same thing. You may have a podcast to plug, but Andy, I'm sorry, Matt, not Andy. I'm going to come back to Andy. Matt, what do you have to plug?
Wow, he went to go give you the tag. And
Yeah.
he's like, no.
Pulled it back.
I
Stayed in.
Yeah, I wasn't holding the rope properly.
Guys, you want to get a hold of me on our social media, just go over to Twitter or the Instagram, just search for Matt Turner. Hit me up on there, any questions, comments, and also ProWrestlingTees.com. Don't be wary of the high shipping charges. Just type in blue and gold, and if you guys are looking to get in shape after this quarantine, best supplements on the market, 5%nutrition.com. Just type in M Turner, save yourself 20% at the checkout.
I had a supplement company email me and ask me if I wanted to be if we wanted to be a sponsor of them, and I was like, "Have you looked at me?"
Like, I'll take it.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm going to start selling you fitness supplements. It's going to be great.
Tomorrow our county goes green and the gym's open tomorrow.
yeah.
So
Well,
Who was it? What was the company?
I'd have to look at the
yeah,
email again.
tell me. I'll send. I'll try it.
And by
I'll
the
try
way,
it.
what am I wearing right now?
Yeah. Brian has the blue and gold shirt on that you can find at Pro Wrestling Tees.
Brian is wearing
the
the
one
blue
of
and
the
gold
two
shirt.
X-Men designs.
I avoided the Pro Wrestling T-shirt
Yeah, he bought
by
direct.
buying directly from Andy Hedder.
Yeah,
Yes,
Wait, which one is he wearing right now?
he's wearing the first one.
the first
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Lily was wearing that today.
Oh wow, how
that?
about that? Yeah, that's
Got it.
great.
Tyler, what do you got?
But,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
no, I'm just saying. I actually hit my threshold. It is night time for me. So thanks for having me, guys, and I will catch you guys next week.
See you next week. Well, maybe we'll see at Not Cool in High School. You can give us the comic week, this week's comic rundown.
Oh, I got a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys on Tuesday then. Sounds
Cool.
good.
See you then.
Bye.
Tyler, what do you got?
I got Witness for Wrestling on Facebook, and then you could always find more of my opinions on the Janelle Tag Facebook page as well.
You had a nice little run up of this day in history of the Mark Henry.
Yeah, the salmon jacket promo. I thought.
Yeah,
I
that
like
was great. I love that thing.
got a lot of attraction. Andy, what do you got?
I did plug the Pro Wrestling Tees thing. Remember I said for Brian's the shirt that he's wearing right
And
now?
also the interview.
Yeah.
The interview.
Check out the interview, and then
currently right now
you can also see Not Cool in High School. Me and Andy team up there and talk all things, I guess, pop culture,
Yes.
our nerdiness or whatever.
That's all I can talk about.
Our comic hit another goal.
Oh, with Lamorta?
Yeah, Lamorta hit
cool.
another goal.
The last one was the pin.
Yep. So I think something else got hit too.
Oh, we'll have to check it out. There's I think it's what's there 1 or 2 days left, a couple days.
And also,
it's near the end.
Last pay-per-view, Andy came over and he I was having issues with my Nintendo Switch, and Andy went out and bought me new Joy-Cons because I was having the drift, and then he was shipped 2 right-handed Joy-Cons, and then the guy shipped him the left. And
when I told him, and I got to keep this, so I got 3 for the price of 2.
Yes, and I must say I want to thank Andy once again because it has made my Switch playing experience so much better. So yes, thank you once again, Andy. I have the red and blue Switch Joy-Cons, and then once I get my other Joy-Cons fixed, I'll have 2 sets of Joy-Cons.
There you go.
So then we can have giant Let's Plays with Mario Party.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
Brian.
Murder My Dude. We didn't have the greatest podcast of all time this week, but we did have a very, very good episode number. This was episode 69.
During Pride Month.
69! Ronnie Mund.
We covered Eileen Wuornos. If you remember the Charlize Theron movie Monster.
Okay.
Ooh, baby.
Charlize Theron and Christina Ricci. That person.
Okay.
She was the person that Charlize Theron was playing.
Who feels that the police were watching her kill people, and they could have stopped her at any point in time.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't think we covered that, but
yeah.
She did also think that they were invading her head and her body with sonic weaponry while she was in jail.
Wow, like mutant powers.
We kind of like the Men Who Stare at Goats thing.
Yeah. We've done a lot of episodes where there's a tragic backstory. This is one of those ones. She had a very, very rough life from the jump.
A lot of mental health issues.
Super villain.
Yeah. She was wrong. I guess she also had mental health issues. I don't want to take away from the episode, but she had mental health issues. She turned to prostitution where she didn't have a good go at it, where a lot of people hurt her, took advantage of her, did things she wasn't cool with, and then she pretty much turned into a Was she described as a serial killer?
Yeah, a lot of people say she was the first female serial killer.
Oh, wow.
Not true, but
Yeah.
some people
What was her
say
body? What was her?
7,
7.
6 or 7.
Where she literally would just look like she was prostituting
Yeah.
and then kill you.
Oh, okay.
Because I guess she felt with her mental
She
health
later
issues.
claimed that at least the first person she steadfastly claimed, but she claimed the people she killed
Was that a self-defense?
were they were trying to assault her,
Oh, okay.
sexually assault her. But
Yeah.
we cover in the show. It's not really wrestling.
Yeah.
Wrestling talk.
I
but
like
yeah.
that kind of like I don't like it. I'm fascinated by that kind of like I watch documentaries of that stuff all
Yeah.
the time.
And then we had an update on the Golden State Killer. There's a big thing with that case
Okay.
today or this week. An interesting case locally that happened in Pennsylvania of somebody who was kind of done in by their iPhone search history. So there's a tease for that too, and talked a little bit more about the current events of the day and some more philosophical stuff too. Somehow conspiracies and things like that. Is the world a simulation? So fun things like that.
it is. I don't know. I don't.
Somebody
think-
better reset the damn thing.
Well, then
Yeah.
why can't we have powers then?
If it's a simulation, can you
I
just make me
mentioned
better
a
at
book
video games?
series in the episode. I'll talk to you about it off air, Andy. There's a book series that's really cool about that.
But yeah, and the links will be below if you want to get your T-shirts or you want to get you want to check out Murder My Dude. The links are below, and you can check all that stuff out. The only thing I got is check out the rest of the content on this channel. Got my shipping orders in. The laptop will be shipped out anytime between the 26th and the 12th of next month. So anytime between then, it'll come in. Give us some time to work out the kinks, get the stream set up, but that is coming soon. We'll be live streaming, and we will see you guys next time. Tornado Tag Podcast. We are out. And make sure to go check out that GoFundMe as well and help out Max Bolton for no rain checks. And here they are with some no rain checks. Clash of Titans.